Hi, and welcome back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Here we are trying to give you updates as much as we possibly can on the Modern Eater live stream. Keep it here. We're going to be broadcasting a lot throughout the days ahead, weeks ahead, months ahead. Greg Hollenbach, Rebecca Berry. Jay Parker's here with us. Rebecca, we're just going to jump right into this.
We are, and we apologize, you guys. I know so many people have been waiting on pins and needles all day for this conversation. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back, and be prepared to be seeing a lot of us and a lot of updates with some really special guests.
Special guests indeed. And what we want to do is go right to our guest that is via, we'll call it just satellite, to Laura Shunk. How are you, Laura?
Hey, Laura.
Hey, how are you?
Laura is the communication director for the Colorado Restaurant Association. We had Sonia Riggs on the Modern Eater Show this past Saturday evening. Got a lot of great information, but as things ever changing. In this new day and age right now, we are living in the moment with new information, new news, and we understand that you were on a conference call with the governor.
Yes. Correct.
What is going on?
Uh-oh, I think I'm losing you guys. Can you still?
We've got you, Laura. Yes.
Okay. All right, great. Well, the governor announced today that that he is extending Denver's closure of restaurants across the state. So he is taking the sort of model that Denver announced this morning, closing dine-in restaurants, letting them stay open for takeout, delivery, and drive-through, and that is going to be true across the state. His order is not as long as Denver's, so this is for 30 days. As Denver's goes through May 11th, the governor's his goes for 30 days, so through I think that puts it April 16th. But otherwise, it looks very similar to what Denver announced this morning.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was a little long to go until May 11th, which just seems so far away, and 1 month seems more reasonable. But here we are trying to adapt to the climate. What does this mean to Colorado restaurants? Because I see people pivoting so much right now, Laura.
Yeah, I mean, there's no getting around it. We expect it's going to be devastating, both for restaurants, for owners, for employees who are now being told that they're not going to be working for the next 4 weeks. We're very, leaving open takeout, delivery, and drive-through as an option that will soften the blow for a bit. But this going to happen. There's no question, and I think in conjunction with we're asking the governor, we're asking the cities, we're asking the federal government to help provide relief both to the businesses and to the employees that are going to experience the fallout from this.
Greg, I've gotten a lot of questions on that today and what that fallout's going to be. We have concepts who have had to shut their doors, laying off 5 people. I have had people reach out who have had to lay off 450, and what that's going to look like for the future and state of our industry. I mean, it's a really critical thing on how we're going to get that reserve.
Yeah, Laura, as we're ever changing with how we're navigating through the announcements that are being made, what is the stance that the Colorado Restaurant Association can do for folks that may need assistance or guidance?
We are compiling resources as fast as we can for both owners and for employees. So if you go to our webpage, which is corestaurant.org, the very first thing you're going to see there is Coronavirus Resource Center. Click on that. As fast as we can add them, we're adding the resources. So that includes everything that we know today: how to file for unemployment, how to file for food stamps, how to do all the things to sort of take care of yourself in this immediate moment. Plus, you should know what we're asking the government for on all of these levels. As some of those packages get passed through, we know, for instance, that there are packages that are being worked on at the federal level. We will be posting and updating on that, and people can sign up for our emails there as well to get real-time updates on what's happening.
Now, do you have to be a member of the CRA to be able to sign up for those updates? Because I know personally from Fourth, I've just reached out to everybody in my network that I have an email address for, sharing your current updates as they're coming in for those who may not be members. is that access available?
It is. So we
Great.
just opened that up today. So if the
Thank
very
you.
top of that page, yep, absolutely, there's an opt-in link.
Great.
So, Laura, as we move forward now, and we understand that this is an enormous impact on the restaurants themselves, but the workers, those folks that are working inside of the restaurants and the restaurants that may just close down altogether. I know we've had conversations, and I don't know whether some of the restaurants like Sam's Number 3 has announced that they were shutting down before any of these announcements now. Are some of those restaurants reconsidering how they're going to operate, and will they allow their employees to come in to be able to function in a different position within the restaurants themselves? Or are their restaurants reconsidering what they're doing at this point?
I think I think they must be is the short answer to that. If they're planning to offer takeout and delivery, I think they're absolutely trying to figure out how they can, keep on staff in order to do that. Sam's, I think, had announced that they are going to shut down through the sort of the I think the school closure was their date. So I believe we will see other restaurants that probably similarly, basically close the doors until this is over. They'll have to if they're not going to offer takeout or delivery,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
But then that is something that we will look at with the state as well, in terms of, if there are barriers to sort of getting employees into sort of delivery positions or things like that. Are there ways that we can waive those requirements, and so that restaurants can be very flexible in sort of re-staffing people?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking along the lines of service industry and employees, resources for them as well. Is that something that you'll provide to the, I call them the first line of defense? These are the ones,
Yeah.
the folks that are out there just every day beating the drum.
Yep, absolutely. And so we have started compiling that. That's the unemployment benefits, how to file for unemployment, how to file for job attached unemployment, which means that you will have a position waiting for you at the end of this, but you can file for unemployment now. How to file food stamps, how to get some of those family assistance programs. We're hearing other things in the works that they're aimed at helping employees or people who are losing their jobs, at restaurants and other small businesses sort of on the front lines here. We will be continuing to amass those resources as well. So they will be updated on that page. Keep checking back. We're updating it multiple times a day as we learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah, joined us by FaceTime, Communication Director of Colorado Restaurant Association. It's Laura Shunk. Laura, what is now? I mean, we all have a lot of time on our hands, seemingly. There's a lot going on right now, but I think things will calm down just a bit. But I think at the same time, we still won't be able to go. I mean, we're closed down for weeks and months ahead. What are some of the agenda items for the Colorado Restaurant Association in the weeks ahead?
We are focused 100% on getting relief for this industry right now, and doing everything that we can in order to help soften this blow. So that is our bread and butter is advocacy work on behalf of the industry. We are doing that, at all, like I said, at all levels of the government, but we are also working with partners and other groups to figure out if there are ways in sort of the private sector to help restaurants that have been impacted. So we're full steam ahead on trying to get people relief.
Yeah, in this crisis, it's very heavy on all of us. But that silver lining that we talk about is I'm really liking seeing how creative folks are getting right now. And I'm also liking to see how unified people are beginning to be and opening up their resources for one another through a very tough time right now. I think that that's very important. Is there a message that the Colorado Restaurant Association would like to put out there in order to keep that morale at a high?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a strong industry. It's a close knit industry. It's always been help each other out industry. I think it's going to continue to be that. I think it's resilient. was talking about the irony of this being such a crisis. Normally in crises, we're gathering in our restaurants and bars, right? And so this is
Exactly.
hard for everyone because we're not able to go do that and be part of that community. But that is going to come back. We're all, I know at the end of this, we're all going to be out celebrating in restaurants and bars. It's going to come back to it. So it's going to be tough. There's no question. But we got to all stick together, and we are going to get through this.
Yeah, more than ever. And we have to thank you and Katie bar the doors, because when this gets lifted and you're able to go to restaurants again, be ready, because we'll be back. And thank you so
That's
much
right.
for the resources of the Colorado Restaurant Association. Laura Shunk, thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That's fantastic. And we want to get those updates early and often for folks like that.
We do. And, I want to say that the Restaurant Association has been, the forefront right now for us. As I said to Laura, I've been sharing with my network and our customers and just anybody that's around us, but they have been on point about just sending out information as it comes in. I worked with the gentleman, Nick, who's on their government affairs the other day, and just at the Drink Red, Rare Red, but try to say that 10 times fast. And just, they've been on the clock nonstop so that we can also be aware of what's going on and best support our industry and try to find resources, get together, get creative, and get that takeout going.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. We are streaming live on Facebook right now, and you can expect a lot of this. You'll be at home. I know your devices, your phone will be on you. And we want to kind of be that central location for you to be able to not only gather, but learn information and also share information with us as well. So you can look forward to that in the days, weeks, months ahead. And I'm seeing people tune in to the Facebook page. If you're watching us from any other Facebook page besides the Modern Eater, you'll want to go to the Modern Eater Facebook page, because that's where you'll be able to communicate with us. We're on there right now. I see Ziri from Elise Wiggins Catavella. It's good to see you joining. Thanks for the information, TJ Hobbs says. Again, we're live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. We're kind of all bunkered up. We're doing the same thing right now. We just ordered takeout from Blue Bonnet.
Yeah, and I actually have to thank Forth for the time and dedication they've allowed me to have to the show and to the community, but mostly my loving, doting boyfriend who is getting food for the entire group right now. So very, very thankful for that. But thank you for Blue Bonnet for having your doors open and having takeout and giving us an option so that we can work hard for you and I don't get hangry.
We don't want you hangry. If there's information you think that we need to know, please, here's my email, greg@themoderneater.com, if you'd like to reach Rebecca.
It's rebecca.berry@forth.com. You can also find us on our Facebook pages, the Modern Eater page. So we're great resources.
Yeah, bring the comments, send them in. We've got great. Jay, the sound and the video looks great. And we had a couple of problems earlier.
It was our first run on our first newscast, or I guess information cast, I should say.
That's right. 6 p.m. right here in Denver, Colorado, as we're learning new information, and we're just doing a kind of community thing. Also, there's a new Facebook group that we'd like you to join, because that's where we'll kind of centralize, be our small little mini producers, right? Use this Facebook page, and it's a very easy one. Food Service Emergency Resource Group. What we ask you to do, and a lot of people that watch the Modern Eater, you are already service industry folks. We would like to be this a resource guide for you. So Food Service Emergency, it's a resource group. Food Service Emergency. Right now over here, we'll go to, here he is, Little Rich Schneider, Rockalitos Tortillas, and partners here at the Modern Eater Show. What a day, what a week. It's just been very interesting, hasn't it, Rich?
There is so much happening, and I'm off camera, so which is probably going to keep more viewers tuned in.
Oh, you're on camera.
Well, we have them in the sanitary
You've got one
corner.
camera all to yourself.
No, it's better that way. But it's such a fluid time. There is so much information, big information coming out. This afternoon, I too want to share that. I too was on the phone call with Governor Polis, and not to pick any sides or anything politically, but I very much admire him reaching out to us, him getting ahead of this. He's got some bold plans. He's doing some things that he said may not be popular, but he's more concerned with saving lives. And I like that he listened to us. And I mean, he was repeating back the questions and answers. And I mean, I was very, very impressed. Some of the questions that were on, Greg Howard from Colorado Springs was asking, why May 11th? He says, do you realize that's just after Mother's Day this year? And that's what big day that is for us in the industry. And Governor Polis was like, this is about safety first, at first and foremost. And so that's how that's going to probably play out is don't plan. I got to say right now, don't plan on a big Mother's Day because it's probably not going to be in the cards.
And you know, this is uncut road, new charted water right now.
Absolutely.
And I think what you're seeing right now is the very safe end.
Yes.
If it's lifted before then, they're able to lift it. It's like getting a haircut. You can always take the hair off, but you can't put it back on.
Exactly.
So at this point, I think safety is first. I think people are being very vigilant as far as, how all of these things work. But when it falls in line, there's also another new age type of conversation here, liability.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want to be that one person that's going against the grain. We talked about that. We said, okay, they came out with Denver, okay, but now the governor came out. The mayor came on this morning, Michael Hancock. He said, Denver, this is what Denver is going to do. The governor came out. The governor's time frame was different than the mayor's time frame, though, wasn't it?
Well, and the governor actually, he addressed that. He said, here's where we kind of, I'm not going to say he made a wrong turn, but here's what we learned from the ski resort. When they found, we've got some cases up in Vail. We're going to close Vail and a couple of very close ski resorts. Well, what happened is everyone went to all the other ski resorts.
Right.
And so did we even spread it over a larger area? So he said, he says, basically he was saying, I'm the governor of Colorado, not just Denver. And we need to address this whole state. And so, like I said, he came from a place of compassion and made an educated argument. And so that's why he wanted to get ahead of it. Some of the other contacts that came, or questions that came up, because these are questions that people are going to ask. Dan from Los Potrillos, he asked, what about, okay, so we can do food delivery. What about beer? What about margaritas? What about liquor? And that's something that I know there's been some battles between the CHLA and that, because there gets to be that, what you just hit on, liability. And I don't think they want to let that genie out of the bottle, because it's going to be a hard one to get back in. So I doubt we're going to see liquor delivery allowed with food during this time.
But so far, from what I know, retail is still okay.
Right.
Liquor stores are open. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yep. You can go to liquor, and also restaurants. So, down the line today, if you've, just waking up, you work the third shift and you're just now figuring out what's going on in the world, live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, the Modern Eater Show. Greg Hollenbach, Rebecca Berry, Jay Parker, Little Rich Schneider, having the conversation now. It's known to all that restaurants are closed down for the foreseeable future, quite some time, as a matter of fact. And restaurants and restaurateurs everywhere are left with pivoting. And what does that mean? It means curbside delivery.
Yep.
It means shutting your dining room doors down and figuring out how you can keep that kitchen busy, safe, and distributing that food to the customer. More and more, I look at this is a lot to unpack, you guys, but there are some businesses, as we look down the board of the Modern Eater sponsors, we say to ourselves, is this going to help or hurt this business, right? Restaurants right now, I think, are a little undetermined. There are some restaurants who I think that they'll be okay, but they have a little more working capital. I'm afraid for the restaurants that are working on very, very small margins, month to month.
Or new openings that have happened,
or new
where they're
openings that are
still
happening.
paying on their construction, their leases, everything that
Yeah.
we had a huge boom, right? An influx of new restaurants this year. And that means that, they haven't had time to build their brand yet. And that's a really scary place for them, where they've put everything into this.
Ava Chappelle on Facebook asks us, are there relief organizations for restaurant workers that the public can donate to? That's a great question. And let's write that down as a note. because we want to get that answer to you from. I think right now what we have to be very concerned about, Ava, is when you're donating to the right organization, a legitimate organization, and an organization that's actually going to handle that money and give it to the people that are very much in need. Are there any off the top of your head, Rich? Is there any that we can recommend at this point in time, or do we need to look?
Well, I can tell you a conversation, another email that I got this morning. I'm on the board of the Colorado Restaurant Foundation, and Mary Mino has the Angel Relief Fund, and that's something that we've been setting up, and we've paid out a couple things, but we're looking and going, okay, there's going to be a tremendous amount of applications for this. And when I see the financial controls, the transparency, and the discipline that the Colorado Restaurant Foundation handles their finances, I'd put my 40 years of in this business on the line, that they're going to handle your money in a prudent and judicious way. Very, very good way. There's no waste going on over there.
This evening's broadcast is powered by Event Streaming Solutions. And Event Streaming Solutions is a company that this is a very easy thing to do. There are so many places right now, whether you're a church or an educational institution or anybody that has a contingency of people that you're relying on a weekly basis or a daily basis to be able to disseminate their message. Streaming your business message is more important than ever. And I can tell you eventstreamingsolution.com is where you'll want to go, and eventstreamingsolution@gmail.com is where you can reach them. So reach out, and if that's something that you would like, I think that could help you out tremendously. We continue back, and as we're talking about so many things, payroll, HR, this is in your wheelhouse. So,
oh my gosh, more than ever.
Talk a little bit about, is there more information coming out? We're talking about liability, the payroll. First, take 10, 15, 20 seconds about Fourth and what you're doing right now to be able to be of guidance to folks.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fourth, we are the only industry solution for payroll and HR that's specific to our industry. What I have taken aside and what I'm doing with my team is to be consultative. We are not attorneys. We cannot necessarily give you legal advice, but we can help to find the right resources or the answers through organizations like CHLA, ACF, CRA, ModernEater, Food Service Emergency Resource Group, all of those things. Right now, we are really looking at just ensuring that we're here for you, that we can put you in touch with the right people. And
what's really cool is you're opening up your resources to where you don't even have to be a customer. Do you have a question?
Nope.
Get a hold of you guys.
Yeah, and it's me specifically right now. I cannot, again, legally speak on behalf of the rest of my team, but I'm so tied into this network that we have in our industry family that I want to take the time to answer your questions and take your calls and just be there. So that's what we are doing as a group here at the Modern Eater. And specifically with the support of Fourth, I'm available to really just be consultative at this point. You do not have to sign up with us in the future. You do not have to be a current partner. I just want to make sure that we've got you covered.
I love that. Lots of questions going on out there. Right now, I want to turn to Facebook and answer a question. We have Carissa Sargent, closing for a few days.
With Brazine,
then reopening for delivery with DoorDash and to-go orders. However, we let most staff go to enable them to claim unemployment since they were hardly making any money as it was. And very interesting, and thanks, Carissa, for reaching out. We're going to see more and more of that, of really the uncertainty out there of how all of this is going to be handled. I can speak for the Modern Eater. Listen, we work on all small margins. All of us have a rent or mortgage at the end of the day to be able to pay at the end of the month. And what's going to happen as far as those shortcomings of being able with cash flow, how that's going to look, is there going to be any local or government support? It's hard to tell at this point in time, but Richie, do you have any input on that?
Well, I was listening actually to the governor on the way over here, and they're talking about a program where employers may contribute to this, and the state matches it like 50-50 to try to normalize people's pockets. Another thing that came up during that phone call this afternoon is Richard Weil, his experience is beyond, I think, probably anyone in this industry on a nationwide level. He was bringing up, is this virus, is this situation, is it going to be considered, how are they going to classify it? Is it an act of God? Is it this or is it that? Because, as people try to file insurance claims for loss of business, for all these different things, that is going to have a huge impact on how this is looked at, both for this case and obviously moving forward, kind of like with flood insurance in Louisiana. Even so what I did is one of our sponsors, Ewing Levitt, I called Brian this afternoon, and I left a voicemail, but asking him, here, as we're seeing restaurants pivot, and they're going to go, okay, some of my wait staff may be going to deliver food. How are they protected under workman's comp? Because typically wait staff is going to have one rate, one classification. A driver is a whole different situation. And so if those drivers go out and they slip, they fall, they get in an accident, how are they covered for that? Because that's something, and that's exactly why on this show we brought in someone like Ewing Levitt. Is people are always looking at trying to save their food cost on this or that, but the reality is, like, and what you're doing, Rebecca, you've got to have your books and all these things in order. And so hopefully Brian's going to get back to me, and I can tell you we're going to have it. We're going to have the answers here.
Well, I can tell you, Rich, part of what we do here at Fourth, this is the challenge with having delivery. So if they are going to, DoorDash or Grubhub, we're a great solution because, as Carissa's saying, she's allowing her team to claim unemployment, which means their SUTA rates are going to skyrocket for next year. So, and again, this is just more of a solution of why we are involved with you guys and for the industry, is because we put all of these organizations under our umbrella. We are able to control the SUTA rates. And we have this type of churn, which we're going to see across the nation. We have a huge buying power to help to keep those rates low. Workers' comp, we have a much better attack on that when it is with a DoorDash or with a Grubhub. Unfortunately, when it comes to your employees driving out, it's such a high liability, as you said.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge challenge. That's where those guys come in to really help work on that end. But we can at least help currently on the workers' comp side of things when it's not the employee doing the delivery. But the most important thing I think we're going to take away from this year is why we have you covered is the SUTA rates. We are going to see such a surge in rates because of employers are doing the right thing to allow their employees to claim unemployment. So, again, this is something that we're here for. We are the only entity that truly is focused on this industry because of that power, that we're not dealing with heavy machinery. We're dealing with standard claims, but this is where we definitely need to be more consultative at this time.
Yeah. So as emails come in, and we're going to be joined by Cindy Wiley from Deviation Distilling. She's in Florida right now. We'll join Cindy in just a moment, but I want to talk about, here it is, Eventbrite. Think about events right now, you guys, gatherings. Isn't it? We're down to 10.
Everything's done.
Yeah.
Everything's done.
I got emails this morning by 9 o'clock.
So a few of the comments that I've gotten are, well, how can you support your local restaurant that you love, your local record store, the brick and mortars, the retails, and keep providing an alternative revenue stream? Well, it's difficult for some folks to say, well, I'm struggling a little bit right now too. It's an uncertain time. I'd love to support these folks, but me buying a gift certificate or a gift card to a restaurant that may not be there on the other side of these 8 weeks, it's a tough pill to swallow to say I'm going to buy a $50 gift card for a business that may not be there. What are your thoughts with that?
Well, it's a valid concern. Some of it may be, well, turn it, if they're offering delivery, redeem that card right away.
Well, speaking of delivery, Andy, who we sent out, Andrew,
Mr. Jeffrey
to Blue Bonnet, comes back and they ran out of food.
Here, come on, they're out.
Closed at 2:00. Not serving. Closed at 2:00.
And so now I'm getting hangry, you guys.
I know.
This is a problem. I have Deviation Distilling that I can drink, and Cindy and I are matching in our sweatshirts today. And I actually have Gabrielle McFarlane here, who has been a bartender for Deviation and a dear friend of Cindy's, which is how I actually met Cindy. So we've got a lot of support here for the industry, but I apparently have to fill my stomach with some Deviation to get rid of this hanger.
We'll get it covered. But I mean, listen, there is a shock going on to the epicenter, the system of all of us right now. And I think that we're being overwhelmed and inundated. So just on that quick note of dovetailing, if you're going to a grocery store or a restaurant, don't order like you're never going to eat again. Save some food for the next person.
I don't know. I may be there though.
That's right. Cindy Wiley, Deviation Distilling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We wanted to talk to you because Little Rich and I had the conversation just a little early. Well, what's this going to do to breweries and distilleries? And I said, you know what? They'll probably be just fine because especially when it comes to spirits, that's a commodity. And then people can wait for that or you can get it to them or they seek that out whether it's a recession or a depression or times are great. People are always drinking.
We hope so. I mean, we have this new barista line that just came out, not yet introduced to the market, only available in our distillery. We serve amazing cocktails, which, as you all know, was just shut down for 8 weeks. So that's, a hard hit to our business. But we're there to serve the community in any capacity we can. We've just switched over. I talked today to our head distiller, Dave, who him and I are now in the process of trying to make hand sanitizer. So, we have that ability to help the community if that's what we do. And going forth, we'll just try to help however we can and hope that when the 8 weeks is done, we get back to serving cocktails and, gin and whiskey cocktails like we like. But, in the meantime, we just make the best of what we can do. So, again, we're there for the industry. We do what we can do and that's all we can do.
Now, Cindy, let me ask you. So obviously you can still distribute to the liquor stores, correct?
We can, yeah. We have a distributor partner in RNDC. They are still business as usual as much as they can be. So if somebody's going into a liquor store and asking for our gin, yeah, you can totally get it. Our barista line, however, has been on a little bit of a halt, only available still in our cocktail room. But again, still available in our cocktail room. We still are planning to operate 2 to 6 every day for bottle sales. Again, hopefully we have that hand sanitizer in a couple days and we're going to offer that to the public as well, free of no charge.
That's awesome. It's like,
again, just something we can.
Just 1 second here.
We've got Mark.
We've got Mark Whistler on there. Jay, just mute Mark's box there. You can't mute Mark's box.
Mark, we need you to go on mute, Mark.
1 second, Mark. He's at the restaurant right now. I can't wait to hear what Mark has to say. Maybe
Andy could get some to go from Mark if he's still running.
I bet you probably could.
We may have just solved that. I've got him running all over town. So Cindy, what's the best way for liquor stores to get in touch and request your line so that we can keep the public having your delicious brand and keep business moving?
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest every liquor store to contact their RNDC rep. If they can't do that, contact us directly at Deviation Distilling. We are, contact me directly, Cindy, Cindi, at deviationdistilling.com, and I will make sure that you guys are fully stocked. Personally, I will make sure. But again, that barista line, hopefully we can get in stores. If not, come to the distillery. We still have it 2 to 6 every day. We're there for bottle sales only. Unfortunately, no cocktails, but we, in the next couple weeks, will be posting those cocktail recipes that everybody loves and they've come to know. So, hopefully people will come down and grab a bottle and make those recipes at home to get them through the next 8 weeks.
Well, if you can't go to the bar, you got to bring the bar home, right?
You do. And so, but you need the product. So come see us, get the recipes, and then go home. So,
and Cindy, do you mind throwing your address out again real quick where you guys are off of Santa Fe and First?
Yeah, I don't mind at all, Rebecca. It's 900 West First Avenue. It's in the yard at Santa Fe. And if I could just throw a shout out to our local businesses that are in the yard as well. It's Smoking Yards Barbecue. I'm sure they're still doing takeout. Copper Door Coffee. Hannah, I know she's doing online orders and she'll probably do takeout coffee orders as well. So please, visit those businesses as well because we're all in the same boat.
I can't wait to see how creative you guys get, Cindy. You are in Florida. How's the weather?
I'm in Florida visiting my mom, and the weather is amazing, I will tell you, but I can't fully enjoy it because of everything going on at home. But
Right.
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we're all in this together. If you need
We
anything,
are.
I'll go let the cat out if you
Well,
need that.
Cindy knows exactly where to find me. So fortunately, we're here for you. And if you missed any of Cindy's information, I've got a first line connection
We'll
to her.
catch up with her more too, and we'll be here every day, Cindy.
For a
Holding
long
it down
couple
for
weeks.
you.
Same
That's
with
right.
me. I'm catching a flight home in 2 days, so I'll be home there as well with everybody. And again, we're really trying to push for that hand sanitizer, and we're going to try to make it as as we can. So
well,
we'll help
looking forward to our next elbow bump.
So I'll
exactly.
get an sanitizer for you guys. This is the deal of the day.
Right.
Maybe even toilet paper.
We'll see what Mark Whistler has.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Mark.
Cindy.
Thank you guys.
Travel safe.
All right, love you.
Thank you. Love
You
guys.
bet. There he is. I see the face of Mark Whistler right there. Could it be true? Now we have to unmute him.
Now we muted him.
I never muted him.
You never muted
how's
him.
that?
There we go.
Turn your phone sideways.
Turn your phone sideways. We love the sideways phone. Let me just do a reset here, Mark, real quick. So we're live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. We're all bunkered down. And the Modern Eater Show, what we're trying to do is just stream as much as we can. We just want to be that informational hub to where if you've got something to say or you want to get a guest on or someone that we should talk to, please, by all means. You can email me, greg@themoderneater.com or rebecca.berry@forth.com, and we'll field any of your questions and try and get answers for you. In the meantime and in between time, he is the hardest working man in show business. He's on the ones and twos.
Goods.
That's right. He is the goods. His name's Mark Whistler. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing all right. You guys are the goods.
Interesting time we're living into. Okay, then announcements turn down the pike because I know that Mark Whistler, you just keep swinging, my man. You're probably one of the most creative marketing guys that I know. These are uncertain times, but you got to pivot and navigate. But now your dining room is closed down. What's on the horizon, Mark?
So we have spent the entire night last night and all day today trying to put a plan into place for delivery, takeout, curbside, and grab and go. And we still have a couple hours to go to see if all the numbers will work out and to see whether we can actually pull it off in terms of infrastructure. So we sent out an email to our staff this morning, kind of showing them what the tentative plan was and also just kind of giving them a little bit of guidance. But we right now we have everybody just kind of sitting tight until we make a further decision this evening. But we all day today we have been starting to put all the infrastructure in place. So it's kind of I think we probably need a little bit of luck right now. We probably need a little bit of it's we'll see where the pieces land, but we are definitely we're fighting. So you guys will know by morning what the outcome is, but we
give us an idea of what that process looks like, Mark.
Oh my gosh, it's everything from we condensed the menu, we're redoing the menu, we're adding we added new items to the menu. We had to build the entire grab and go menu. We had to activate a quick service cash register, a quick casual cash register, and then also cash drawer. Connect all of that to our Aloha. Basically, make sure that we have the menu redesigned.
Well, let's go slow. You're throwing out a lot of stuff there, Mark. Let's go slow because this is great information. So I asked you where you begin with this. Do you have resources that you're utilizing to be able to lead you down this road, or is this stuff that you're dreaming up on your own?
I don't think. I wish that we were a larger restaurant that had a significant marketing team or a support team that could help, but we don't. So it just I think the case is with a lot of independent restaurants is you just gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself, and you will get a little help along the way. But it's really I think I started 2 days ago, and last night I really hunkered down once we closed and have worked straight through since then. So it just is, it's just what it is. This is an extraordinary time, and I think it also requires just an extraordinary effort without giving up. But we'll see what happens.
What would you like to see happen?
Oh, what would I like to see happen? I would like to, I don't know. I'd like to see maybe in the current, realistically in the current situation, I would like to see our payroll taxes and city and state sales taxes deferred. I would like to see quicker SBA assistance with low interest loans. I would like to see some type of assistance from the city in terms of perhaps being able to sell liquor, beer, and wine on a retail basis. Um, I would like to see a little bit more in terms of just overall support to business owners and a little bit more guidance. I mean, we're really, when you say it's a fluid situation, I think what that means is the bottle has already started dripping. We're trying to catch the water. Um, it's almost an impossible task right now, especially for our smaller restaurants with smaller staffs. So I think, if we do pull through, it's really a story of nothing but perseverance and just not giving up. But you know, sometimes maybe all of the odds are maybe there are things that are outside of our control. But we're doing our best, and I think all the other restaurants in town are too. I'm so proud of our entire community. I've been watching the Modern Eater thread today. I've been watching the Eat Denver thread and Colorado Restaurant thread. I spoke to is it John Hill, John Lyon from the SBA. He was great. Super nice guy. Gave me a lot of information. I think even our accounting firm RSI has been providing a lot of information. And I think that really, at the end of the day, the most difficult part for all of us right now is to basically figure out what exactly the reality of the current situation is. And I think the other thing is too is that for all of the restaurants that are making an immense effort to try and put together takeout, grab and go, curbside, and delivery services, I hope that the public shows up, and that's the big question. If you build it, will they come? And I think this is, again, I've never seen people hunker down quite like this before, and I totally understand it. I think we have to remember that there are a lot of small businesses and jobs on the line right now too. So.
Absolutely. Mark, a follow-up question to that. You talk about you hope that the folks in the community will show up. I think that they're looking for a reason to show up. Truly, you go to a grocery store. The grocery stores are probably the most uncomfortable place in the world for me. Right. But tell me about how that food supply, is that food supply still open to restaurants? Are you seeing that as plentiful and that chain is not going to stop? Are you going to get the goods that you need?
Yeah, I think so. We've received emails from most of our purveyors indicating that they do have the inventory that we will need to stay in business. I am, of course, like everybody else, worried about some key core items, especially dry goods like toilet paper, and napkins. But for us, we have enough to sustain the restaurant for probably a week and a half, and we have enough to-go boxes and to-go tins to be able to support a delivery service for probably a week and a half. And from there, I think we'll really kind of see what the state of the market is, and see at that point, a supply interruption would obviously be, I think, the final nail in the coffin for a lot of restaurants. But I think we also have to have faith in the free market, and that the free market will pull through. And a lot of these bigger companies that are suppliers, especially, I saw an article this morning that was talking about King Soopers, and they have a 20-acre warehouse for all of their groceries. And I don't, on a retail side for consumers, I don't understand the panic, because I don't think they're going to run out of goods anytime soon. The question is, how fast can they restock it? And so we have to give the market a chance to do its job. And probably not panic as much, but in our case, if the market panicked and ordered all of the sandwiches in the entire world from us, I would probably be pretty happy.
Well, Mark, we might have some hungry people here this week. Just saying.
I think we're going to send somebody your way just for us here personally. So let me just do a quick reset here as we're on the phone with Mark Whistler, and he shows us his dining room that's a desert right now, just like many others here in Denver, Colorado, and beyond. This is the new normal, folks, and this is the new normal that you'll be experiencing for not only now, but the weeks ahead. I think shock is still setting in. I think folks don't really know what this looks like, and I think that there's a lot of scrambling that's going on at this point in time. What I can see right now is the community is getting stronger than ever. It's really showing. In other words, you're starting to find out who your friends are through times like this.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely on that list, and I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all of your support. You guys have been amazing. So is the Colorado Restaurant Association, for sure. Eat Denver, absolutely. And I, even our insurance company really pulled through this morning to give us the ability to enable a delivery service as well. So, there's just a million different little pieces of the puzzle. Our insurance agent, a guy by the name of Grant Chafin from CRS, is just been amazing. And I think also our employees too. I mean, the way that they're handling this and the uncertainty, because I can't give them a firm answer right now. I think I will by this evening, once we see whether we can actually snap all the pieces of this and whether it's actually a functional business model. I think that's the big question. But even our neighbor, Tatted Cover, offered to loan us a glass refrigerator to store the grab and go stuff. And
that's awesome.
It's really, I think it's great. It's great to see so much positivity in the Eat Denver threads too. I mean, what a great resource for owners. And I think it's incredible. I found out about your streaming today at 3 p.m. to find out more news through Eat Denver and through the thread there. So I think, at the end of the day, one of the best parts about this, if we do have to find a silver lining, is it is kind of pulling the entire restaurant community together as one group, because everybody's in the same boat. And it's really cool to see so much communication between different restaurant owners, managers, even, on the Facebook groups. I love the stupid hospitality.
Oh yeah,
yep,
I do actually.
Oh my God,
I can't remember which one it is, but it's the hospitality humor essentially.
Yeah,
right?
I think that group, I just, and I think that's probably a lot of chefs and cooks and servers and managers and GMs and bartenders, and I just, they really have the best sense of humor in this really difficult time, and that's kind of fun to look at too. So. And, the other thing, too, is that, I really all day today have been receiving so many texts and emails from our customers and friends. And I really appreciate that level of support, too. It's been kind of difficult because I had to reply, we'll have an answer by tonight. We're trying to put all the pieces in place. And so things are a little uncertain. I can't give you a final answer right now, but just know that we're doing our absolute best. And this is this is life. This is what it's about. Things like
you can't see him on this camera, but Rich Schneider, he's here with us as well. And
hey, Rich,
he's heard a lot of this conversation, but you probably want to jump in on what you've heard. Rich.
I'm chewing at the bit, especially because when I see Mark. Because
why? Because he's still smiling.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest, and he's getting his ass kicked for months here, and still smiling. I mean, just talk about just piling it on. Here it is, struggling restaurants and all over the place, and you're just trying to keep the doors open. And then, welcome coronavirus.
Yeah. Well, looking at Mark and listening to him. Mark is the epitome of our industry, and I've said that on the show before. And our industry is full of these types of people, and what I love about them is that we shine under adversity. Every day in this industry, somebody calls in sick, somebody quits, a machine breaks. You get 50 pounds of chuck instead of 50 pounds of ribeye, or whatever that thing is. We all know every day we're going to be dealt something, and it's our job to figure out how to make, okay, we got this crap lemon, and I'm going to make a wonderful margarita.
Well, remember,
and that's what we're doing.
Well, we're one day in. We're one day into this.
Yeah.
I mean,
but look how
I think
how
we're
much
going to
they've
get stronger,
accomplished.
though. I mean, we've pulled this together in less than 24 hours, and we already have such an amazing community.
Wait, you're hangry right now.
I am hangry, and I'm smiling, Mark. I'm starving.
Mark, you know what? Mark and 1,000 other restaurants right now could just go, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. And instead, Mark's like, okay, they seal the front door. I'm going to get the food out another way. I'm going to still find a way to get that. People want the food. He wants to sell it. He wants to make it. He's going to find a way. He's got grit. He's got determination. No one's going to beat this guy. And I'm pointing at his face because no one's going to beat him. And there's others out there the same way. And so, you know what I'm hoping through all this?
Yeah.
We gain a little more self-confidence. We get to show off and share those methods that we found to succeed through this. And all of us come out better, a little more cock in the walk, a little more confidence.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, but I mean, that swagger. You've seen me when the walk, the swag.
So do we call that the Schneider?
I don't know.
The big D-Day.
But that's I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of Mark. For what he's doing. He's not just rolling up. He's not just curling up and dying. This guy's going to make it happen. And there's others the same way. And Mark, your story is going to inspire people today.
I don't know if this is breaking or not, and we need to get this verified. But Lyft and Uber to shut down for. I think we need to take a look at that. That just came in.
Well, that changes Uber Eats too.
It changes
That's
a lot.
Everything.
Mark, as we have you on, listen, information just keeps coming new, as with minute to minute new information. You're one of these guys, Mark, to where I go, well, what are you worried about for yourself? You'll always defer to that. What are you worried about for others right now, and who are you worried about, Mark?
Definitely, I think number one is probably the older people in our community. Absolutely. I mean, I think that, we do have to look at the core risk of what is happening. And
speak louder, Mark.
We do have to look at the core risk of what is happening. And I think I'm definitely worried about the people who are at the highest potential risk zone of actually getting sick. I'm worried about our employees, talking to a lot of them, navigating the unemployment benefits and just trying to have a grasp on what's happening there. I think there's a lot of fear, and there's that's a whole new hurdle of information for people to overcome. So I'm worried about them being able to find that money. And also be able to access the right, obviously, documentation. And we're doing our best to provide it for our employees, and I think everybody else is as well. But to kind of put their fears at bay, I'm worried about the independence. I have a buddy here who owns a catering company and has lost 98% of his business just in the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm worried about everybody and other industries too. Even this isn't all retail. I think we talked about that the other night. And I guess the people who are at fear of not having somewhere warm to sleep tonight or at the end of the week if they can't pay their rent. Those are the people that I'm really worried about. And but I think the only thing that we can do right now is have some faith in the system that somehow, some way, everything is going to pull through, that our local and our city and state municipalities will actually see the urgency and the immediate need to step in and provide that assistance. And we just, we all have just a little bit of faith in the human beings that were elected to these positions, and really believe in our hearts that they'll be able to do their jobs, and they'll be able to understand that they're doing it from the stance of providing people with the things that they need the most at this time, which includes obviously financial support for employees.
I'm monitoring a Twitter feed right now, and just more and more I'm seeing service industry workers that just hands in the air. And I'll be blunt about this one off the Twitter feed. They've shut down bars and restaurants in Denver for 8 weeks. No idea what the fuck I'm going to do about my bills.
Well, my brother got laid off today. He worked for an establishment and they had no choice, and there's no backup plan yet for him. And it's not like he can go to another bar and restaurant to start working. And I mean, it's true. It's how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to, when this is your life, this is all of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, there is, I think, the unattached unemployment or attached unemployment, whatever it's called. And there are programs, I think, but just at the end of the day, all the people in this industry who are without work this evening do unfortunately have to go through the bureaucratic process of filling out that paperwork and getting it in. And I think the most important thing for the people who are going to access that assistance and do need to access that assistance is one piece of advice I can give them is don't wait, do it tonight. Get online and do it. And struggle through that paperwork. It shouldn't be too difficult. And I was surprised today that just filling out the SBA disaster assistance form. It's just a preliminary from small businesses. That form actually was quite simple, and I'm sure that in the end, when they really start to require those forms for surely processing and to figure out whether there are damages that they can provide for businesses, this will get much more complicated. But if the limit are
Hang on, Mark.
simple,
Hang on, Mark. 1 second. I hate to interrupt you. All right, it looks like on deck we have Zach Johnston, the Spice guy, who's obviously listening to the show because it's coming back through to his speaker. So just like the radio call, turn your radio down,
right,
caller.
Yeah. Hey, so
Caller,
I'm gonna step aside to let.
Thank you.
I do
Mark.
want to touch on something real quick, though, too.
Wait, I'm sorry, Rebecca.
No,
but before
yeah.
you go, Mark, please tell folks where you're located, and you are, just so we're correct, your kitchen is operating and ready for curbside or delivery.
Yes, but all of the pieces are not in place. We still have a few more critical pieces to put in place this evening. So I cannot answer 100% that we will be open. I am doing absolutely everything in my power to try and keep us open. There might be some things out of my control, so we'll know by tonight. But I'm fighting, and at the end of the day, if it's in my power, I will not give up. And then I just want to just mention one other thing. We were talking about all the little things that happen in this business. I just want to let you know that this past week we nicknamed our ice machine Conk. It's because it has a wonderful habit of conking out. So old Conk back there is enjoying the break that he's getting this week. But
Conk, okay.
We're ready. We're ready to keep working. So.
Mark Whistler, keep it going. You inspire me. I need you.
Yeah, Mark, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
That. And I think Rebecca had some closing things she wanted to say.
First of all, I do just want to acknowledge too, Mark does have gluten-free options at his restaurant.
Yes,
I am a person who is celiac, but for people who are, at a point where they just want a good meal and they want to eat out and they have allergy restrictions, Mark's The Goods is a great place to go.
She'd probably eat gluten now, though.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
We're not that desperate yet. One thing I did want to say, too, though, is, to everybody who is getting laid off and dealing with some of this hardship, your credit card companies will work with you. There are hardship programs right now. So as Mark was saying with unemployment, don't wait. Pick up the phone right now. Be proactive. If you fear that you're not going to be able to make ends meet and you have some debt, focus on being able to pay your rent and your basics and things you need for your family. The credit card companies will work with you currently.
Yeah, Mark.
I did see today also that there is, I think it's city assistance for anybody who might have trouble paying their utility bill. And then I also saw that I think it's the city, it might be the state, is offering, I think, up to an 80% credit to help pay rent as well. I don't know what the name of that service is right off the top of my head, but
if you get any links to that, please share with us.
Yeah, I sure will. I'll pull it up and send it over. Yep.
And Mark, the minute that you know what you're going to be doing, the Goods restaurant on Colfax, attached to the tattered cover building across from East High School, could you please tell us what direction you'll be going?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Tell us what you're going to be doing when you figure it out.
Oh, well, that's the big, we have a lot of grandiose plans if all the pieces fall into place. So I'm gonna save that as a little bit of a surprise announcement tonight, but we do have some really cool stuff happening.
We'll probably be here.
Yeah, we worked really hard to be super creative about it and make it fun too. So we'll see what happens tonight, and of course, you guys will be the first to know.
I love you.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Mark. You're the best.
Thank you,
just keep your head up. You're always so inspirational.
Well, how could Mark be
the best? Thank you.
Well, he's a little better than you.
No, he might be the best, but we got Zach Johnston right here.
True. We've got a follow-up.
He's pretty good, too. Hey, Zach, here we are, the Spice guy, Zach Johnston, joining us. Now, here's the manufacturing end of that. And Zach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, boys, and new, prettier.
It's fine. I was being included in the boys.
No, Rebecca, you're a much prettier version of Brian.
Oh, thanks, Zach.
Zach just pinged me, and he goes, Hey, 2 broadcasts in a row with the same shirt? Man, come on. Don't call me out. I got this shirt on Saturday for $9 at Macy's off that rack, and I liked it so much I wore it twice, but there you are to
I hope
call me
you've
out.
not worn it the whole time. There's a viral infection going around. I don't know if you've heard.
I Lysoled him. It's fine. We're
That's
good.
right. I watched it. Zach, what are you up to? Oh, we got someone saying mad feedback. I wonder if that's coming from Zach. Is that Rome Sausage? That's Chris who's saying mad feedback. I think you
he's
sound
queued
good.
up to come on next too.
I think you sound good.
Um,
Let's hear you, Zach.
Everything good?
It's the strangest audio I've ever
Yeah, it's
heard
like
in my life.
Echo in
You've
there.
got something crazy. What kind of microphone are you dealing with there?
My computer one. Here, I'll get you back on my phone. How's that?
Yeah, get me back on your phone. You thought that laptop was top of the line.
You know, even when I do conference calls, I actually do the call in and don't use the computer audio because it never fails to have
never works as well.
It doesn't. It's always got that echo and that feed.
I'll tell you what, as Zach's coming back online, got to tell you, broadcasting live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, the Modern Eater. We are doing, just trying to do coverage right now. And Rebecca Berry has joined with us from Fourth. You're so well connected. I had to have you here with us. I think you're going to hang out with us if we feed you. If we feed you here. And just learning new information all the time. Please funnel us information. You can get me at Greg at themoderneater.com and Rebecca.berry at Fourth.com. And we'll try and, if we don't have an answer to it, we'll try and figure it out or get a guest on that can answer those questions. And that's really what we want to do, is be a community resource for you. Trying to get as many small business owners on as possible. And Zach Johnston is rejoining us, the Spice Guy. How does that sound?
It sounds fantastic.
Oh, that does sound
much better.
Thank you for doing that, Zach.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry.
Cool. So we go down the list of people and we say, okay, well, this hurt them, help them, hurt them, help them. Obviously, grocery stores right now, boy, they must be turning a profit at the expense of all of these closings of restaurants and those types of things. And people just basically panicking.
You want some?
Sure. This is the new normal we live in right now. Zach, his video went away. Can you hear me, Zach?
Yep.
Cool. Manufacturing end, little Rich Schneider here with us as well. Rich, didn't Zach call you the other day and go, I don't know what I'm seeing right now. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's an unusual situation that we're in. I'm going to reach for some.
Zach, is that what you're feeling?
Thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking of all this?
I think it's going to be a pretty long 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I'm half excited at the news today because I know how long it's going to be now, or at least we have an idea of how long it's going to be. So I'm half excited about that. It feels a little bit better to know there's some kind of solution started. I don't know how many of our clients have 8 weeks in the bank to stay.
Well said.
Luckily, we're in a position where we've made some smart moves so far this year, and we are in a position where we'll be here at the end of this. But yeah, I mean, we're just hunkered down. Luckily, I'm not a produce company. I'm not a meat and cheese company. I'm a guy that has stuff that will sit on a shelf if it needs to.
What do you do with that, Zach, knowing that you may be okay, but you see some of the folks that you love, you've known them for a long time. Is there anything in your mind that you're thinking, well, here we are, we're not great, we're in an okay position, but allocating some of your resources. I saw today you put out a very gracious offer to folks in the service industry talking about, listen, I use my delivery van 2 days a week. Anybody else need to use it?
Well, we usually use it 6 days a week. We're not going to need it 6 days a week right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, there's a ton of restaurants that aren't in the game. I know Biker Jim doesn't have mobile delivery set up yet. So can I, while we're doing nothing, can we do something? That's the idea, right? Like, we're here, and what Rich told me the other day when I called him was he was going to be agile and compassionate, and I didn't call him because I don't want his advice. I called him because he's been around, he's seen a lot. and I thought it was a really solid piece of advice to do that. What all that stuff means is a day by day and hour by hour and nearly a phone call by phone call situation.
You know what?
I mean, we service 700 restaurants. 4 restaurants put orders through today.
Wow.
We would usually have probably 200 or so in the hopper at the moment.
It gives you chills, doesn't it, guys? I mean, it really
Well, a lot of it seems reactionary, but I think a lot of it is just trying to figure out, where the water will settle. It finds its own level, and right now the level is low, and I think that's what we're looking at. What I can say is that, here's what we want to do. We want to anticipate the reopening in 8 weeks. We want to talk about how can you be locked and loaded and have the best fresh spices, or, a lot of manufacturers I've talked to said that this is terrible right now, but at least it's cycling through some of our back inventory.
What's amazing for us is, there's some projects that we've been desperate to get done and just haven't been able to find the time that we're going to be able to hammer out. Well, I mean, the downside of that is we're not getting paid at all.
Yeah.
In your mind, Zach, what do you see on how we can hang on when you're seeing your friends? You work with a lot of chefs, a lot of back of the house folks. Again, the margins are small and the jobs just really aren't there right now. What do you see in your crystal ball of how to hang on?
From a restaurant perspective, I really don't know. I was talking to some people about it today. The restaurants are in a precarious position where they take the stock from all of the manufacturers and producers and distributors, sell it, hopefully within a few days, get paid on it, and then try to reallocate that money to buy more food so that they can keep paying bills. But I'm not sure that a lot of my friends are chefs. They're not horrible business people, but they're not business people first. They're chefs first. And this is a situation where the brightest in business don't know what to do, let alone artists.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get on many perspectives from folks from, the small margin folks like Mark Whistler to, hopefully we'll be able to get someone on like Frank Bonanno who has to mobilize in a whole different way at a whole different level. As the emails are coming into us, the humor I actually appreciate a little bit right now, but one just photo meme comes in as the drink special of the day, Zach, is the Quarantini. It's a regular martini, but you drink it alone in your house.
There's a lot of that going on.
I think there is going to be a lot of that going on. I don't know if it's being overused or underused at this point, but we are all in this together. As things develop and more and resources open up, please funnel it this way and give us updates early and often, and anything that you can think of, Zach, that might better and tighten our community. I implore you, please reach out.
Yeah, Summit County's on a full restaurant shutdown until further notice.
Yep. It just came through, didn't it, to you, Greg?
Yeah. Which is interesting, and I can just read what I know. It says the Summit County Health Order does the following: requires all drive-in activity at restaurants, bars, cafeterias be suspended effective 10 p.m. Monday. Delivery and takeout options are permitted. Suspend Summit Stage public transit services as of 2 a.m. Tuesday morning. Suspends rideshare services like Uber and Lyft after midnight tonight. Suspends shuttle services after 12 p.m. Thursday. Requires all retail businesses, locations, see foot traffic to close by 10 p.m. Monday until further notice, with the exception of banks, grocery stores, liquor stores, and of course marijuana dispensaries, pharmacies, and gas stations. Require all lodging businesses, hotels, motels, timeshares, and short-term rentals to be closed by 12 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ski season is pretty much done.
Take that all in, right? With Jensen Cummings, he's one of these folks. I'd love to get Jensen on the line to talk about his take from this. He's given us a hello and welcome to you. I can tell you, if you're watching this live stream from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, on the Modern Eater Facebook page, that's where you want to be. If you're on any other Facebook page seeing this stream, just go to the Modern Eater if you have a comment, and we'll be able to grab your comment there and discuss that with you at any time. Zach Johnston, you know what? Business is normal at the Spice Guy. Are you going in the early, dark and early 5 a.m. tomorrow morning?
Nope, it's just me over there, so no need to get the day set up for the 20-person crew that we're used to.
Oh, probably a perfect time for me to finally visit.
Hey, yeah, I'm not
As long as
accepting.
we keep it under 10.
I'm not accepting outside visitors, but thank you for
Especially
coming.
Greg.
Thank you for wanting to finally.
Thank you. You're breaking up on me, Zach. I can't quite hear you, man.
All right, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good show.
Just
Thanks,
kidding.
Zach.
Love you, brother. Thank you. Zach Johnson, the Spice Guy. Again, manufacturing not seemingly hit as heavy as most other operations right now, Rich.
Well, not yet. Up until this morning, really, it had been invisible in my business from what I could see. We had a meeting this afternoon. I was getting emails, Summit shutting down, certain restaurants specifically shutting down, different things happening. And so we had to have a talk with our crew this afternoon. Of course, we had Big Paulie Raoul come in and brought in the big guns for that talk. But, one of the things we were talking about is we're running our business. We're planning our production based on facts, not fear. And that we told them, look, we're running today. We're still making product. I imagine there were a lot of factories that just out of fear, they just shut everything down. And that decision was based on fear, not what are the numbers, what is still needed in the pipeline.
Well, what happens though? What happens when, say a manufacturing facility, let's just use Rockley as an example. Somebody tests positive for coronavirus that works in there. Do you have to close it at that point? Just because you may have identified them? They said, I'm not feeling well, and they pulled themselves out of the mix and had plenty of time ahead of time. But now you're faced with the situation of going, well, I think everything's fine.
Yeah.
But
well, we addressed that as first off to talk about what are the legitimate or symptoms of coronavirus versus the flu. And okay, if you have to go get tested, go get tested. If you come back positive, you've got to stay home for a couple of weeks. We're going to pay. We're going to take care of this. Wow. If it's the normal flu, no, you're going to go home just like you would the normal flu. But, we're also seeing this afternoon, actually right after that meeting, I got calls from some of the U.S. Foods warehouses that, hey, we need to cut back. We need to cancel some orders. And so we're seeing it, we're going to start seeing the diminishing, I'm going to say, greeting the trucks as they come on. I'm trying to be like that mob guy that's on the corner that people know, oh, he's there. If I've got a question, he's right here.
Yeah, if you didn't know, you had cigarettes.
That's right. That's right.
Full on up.
But we're communicating with our customers, with our suppliers. We're communicating with our employees. We're going to be putting up a thing of where are we at the percentage of sales this week. And I'm doing this as a tip for other people because right now a lot of employees are scared. They don't know what's going on. And it's that communication. So I told them today, look, we have our historical data. I'm going to post something up there every afternoon so you can see like where we are this week compared to last week or the same week a year ago.
Last year, yeah.
So this week, for example, right now I'm at 97%. So it kind of let them at ease. But I said, I got to tell you, next week we could see a big drop, and we more than likely will. But I'm going to communicate that to you, and it's going to be a real number. And so that's what all this is about. Like I said, react with facts, not fear. Keep corporate agility, have compassion towards your suppliers, your customers, your employees, and that's what's going to get us through all this.
Yeah, coming together and, like you said, Rich, fact-based and not fear-based. I took a little bit of a hit on a Facebook post of mine over the weekend that I had posted about, supporting a local business around the corner from my house that we have homemade sanitizer because they were out at the store. We've got everything. I have an autoimmune disease with having celiac, so I am more prone. But being smart and being aware, and really I took a hit from people who were just blasting this mass amount of information that wasn't really factual. It was just via, what we've heard from social media and from the news, and it wasn't coming from a great source. And so I think ensuring that people are educated in the right ways and that you are giving the facts, that fear will drive us into the ground.
Yep.
Factual information and coming up with a solution will make us rise.
Yeah. Well, Friday night, I'm all over the place trying to check on things. I stayed downtown at the Hyatt trying to show support to our lodging family.
Mm-hmm.
But, once I got this word today from the governor after this conference, okay, now I'm going to change my behavior a little bit, but it's based on facts, not fear.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
I could go down that rabbit hole, and I'm going to step on back from that.
I'm going to write down a phone number for you, Jay. This is Jensen Cummings. We'll try and check in with Jensen. I'd love to get his perspective. He's a gentleman who hosts a podcast here locally called Best Serve. And could you try?
Yeah, and actually, I've got one for Jay too. So at some point this week, not tonight, but Alex Lorenzi, who is a fellow coworker of mine with Fourth, is based out of Dallas, but is actually an owner-operator. And he's willing to come on and discuss what's going on in Texas, too. But as somebody who works with me in the partnership that we have with Fourth, but also is an owner-operator, he's got some things to say, and I think it'll be interesting to chat with him.
Hand it over to Jay. And you guys, if you're watching, do the same thing. If there's somebody you think we need to hear from, we can't promise you anything, but we'd love to hear from you. Again, we're not going to get any messages from you unless you're on the Modern Eater Facebook page. You can always watch the rebroadcast here. We're just going to try and go wall to wall as long as we can until Rebecca just faints because she hasn't had any food.
I had a bagel at 10 o'clock.
I know my body's starting to eat myself, and as my mom,
skinnier.
That's right. Yeah, I've heard you don't look like you're starving. Well, I'm hungry. It doesn't. Richie, what we're going to do right now, he's just poised. He's got his hands together. He's online right now from the satellite phone right into the Rome Sausage headquarters. There he is, Chris Johnson. Chris,
What's
hey,
up,
good
man?
to see you. Hey, just working through this, right?
That's right, man. We all cope in our own ways, man.
Yeah, what
you drinking there?
That's an old fashioned.
Nah, it's just whiskey. Just my dinner.
Yeah.
Just
hand sanitizer and dinner all
That's
in
right.
one.
It's not for breakfast anymore.
Right.
That's right.
Chris, Rome Sausage, what are you seeing?
Oh man, these are strange days, man. I think I was expecting a shutdown in some capacity. 8 weeks seems pretty extreme to me.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that after 2 or 3 weeks, cooler heads will prevail, and they'll understand that you got a lot of folks out of work, a lot of families hurting, and you've got to open the places back up in some capacity or loosen the reins. The CDC today said that 15 days was the sweet spot for virus transmittal as far as the incidence rate going down. But here we are at 8 weeks. It was like, I was in an account this morning when that came across the phone. It was like, holy shit, man, 2 months. I mean, that's an eternity.
Yeah.
That's an eternity in the restaurant business. I mean, I spent a lot of time, waiting tables, bartending, washing dishes, whatever. And, it's a real, hand to mouth existence for a lot of folks. And that's a long time for those guys and gals and their families to go without income. So it was a shock. And I think we're all kind of looking for ways to kind of pivot and be flexible and still generate income for ourselves and our families, and also keep our folks, our employees employed and their families fed, but at the same time supporting everybody else in the business. So these are strange days.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there, and you said so many great things. Also, you talk about the length of time, which I totally agree, and I'm kind of on the fence, but I'm also on, I want to rip the Band-Aid off. I want to get it so that this virus isn't jumping from carrier to carrier to carrier.
Right.
in a lot of ways that, I mean, let's face it, schools, anything that has a large gathering place, you talk about 8 weeks, that is a long time. But the analogy I gave, it's like getting a haircut. You can't put the hair back on, but you can take the hair back off.
I'm aware.
Yes. So, with that being said, I think that there's something for, let's shoot for 8 weeks, but let's hope it's only 3.
Well, and like you said, again, we can pull back, right? We can pull it into a shorter time frame as things progress. I'm with you on the fence. At first, I'll be very frank. I was like, this is crazy if there's a 2-week incubation, whatever it may be. However,
life-changing.
We want to be safe, though, and ensure that in the long run and the longevity of businesses, that the doors will remain open and not continue to move forward with this issue.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. That there should be some period, and I felt before this, we're probably past the point of containment in this country, but and I'm just a sausage guy. I'm not a doctor by any means, but let's shut it down for a couple of weeks. Let's kind of get ahead of it, and then let's kind of reassess to, because really the big issue here is obviously the virus, and then beyond that is the economic impact, right? And if you're watching what the market's doing, it's investor confidence is low. People are bailing out. They're trying to get liquid, and those are all dangerous things. But hopefully we can kind of all calm down, come together as really as a country, and get past it. But I think that 2 or 3 week kind of lay low, minimize contact things, what needs to happen. But 8 weeks was just a little firm. So, and like I said, we're all trying to kind of, pivot and be flexible. And, we still plan on operating. We still plan on, delivering, whether that's a case or 10 or 100 or whatever it may be. So, as far as supply chain goes, I was at a distributor today and they had 40 trucks at the dock unloading and another 15 queued up waiting to go. So, it's not as if farmers and ranchers and producers are going to stop the supply chain. There's pigs and chickens and beef coming to market that have been, beef's a 2 or 3 year cycle. It's not like they can just shut that down. So, I mean, supply chain availability of goods is going to be there. And I think, after 3 to 4 days in the house, you're like, let's order pizza. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, I'm tired of cooking, so, we're going to flex as other people flex, as far as figure out a way to kind of still generate revenue and still service, the restaurant businesses here in town. And it's that's a weird day and a strange thing to kind of sort through, man. So
it's surreal, right? It's like our own worst Netflix drama is what I keep saying.
Chris, anything down the pipeline about how the FDA is handling these types of things? Are there any new mandates, as you were talking about, the pigs and the cattle in the pipeline? Are they handling that any differently, or this is an illness that is airborne and can handle, but some of the misinformation on can it be passed along through the pigs that are coming to Rome sausage?
That's a great question.
Not through our sausage. I can't speak for my competitors.
Hey, Chris, back up off that camera like a foot. Just back up off, like right there. That I love you right there, buddy. Right there.
And give us a double chin. Give us
It's not a flattering angle.
It's just the closer you get to that camera, it's cutting your head off, and I'm trying to make it look.
We actually do have some Romes in the freezer, and I'm thinking tomorrow we use some of Zach Crater's oil and do some homemade fries and some Rome sausage for dinner here while we just continue to power on through. What do you think?
First of all, don't tell anybody we have food here.
Oh yeah, we don't have food here.
And
we have no food
toilet
here.
paper.
Yeah.
We have nothing. We have nothing.
Undisclosed location. But no, you seriously might have saved us for the next few days anyway. Can we get more sausage? It's the sausage flowing.
You know it, man. It's always going to be flowing. I mean, we intend to keep producing and whatever that looks like. As far as USDA goes, to answer your question, that their business as usual. They still have a responsibility to inspect, slaughter, production, everything in between for us or anybody else. So, the supply of protein still got to continue, and they'll be working. There's some essential businesses in this country beyond the federal government, like, King Soopers, grocery, drugstores, that kind of stuff. So they'll still be functioning as we kind of muddle through what we're doing here. But the USDA will keep inspecting. It's not like they're going to close the doors and let folks just do whatever they want, kind of thing. So.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we started a little Facebook group, and it is Food Service Emergency. We'd love to have your participation in there and just kind of funnel us updates as we go along here. A lot of people I'm asking the same question to. I know you're probably not too worried about yourself, but you're worried about others. That's the Chris Johnson way. What is it that you can do or want to be able to do as far as offering services of people who may need some sort of help?
Well, I mean, the door's always open over here, right? So if it's hard for me to come up with a blanket statement right now and say, here's how we're going to help everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's donations or continuing to service our current accounts, we'll do what it takes, and I typically say yes when the phone rings and make sure that we're taking care of folks. The goal for us is to keep, our folks employed and their families fed, kind of thing. And just because, I own the business doesn't necessarily mean that I don't feel the impact. We grind it out like anybody else. We do have the ability to deliver, whether it's our goods or somebody else's, much like Zach said. So if there's an opportunity for some of your listeners or other, folks in the community who, hey, I've got goods to deliver, I just can't deliver it, we're there too. So whatever it looks like, man, let's be flexible. Let's consider the other person here, and let's try and, generate some income while we wait for this heavy cloud to be lifted, and then we can get back to having a good time.
I agree. I say we put the Girl Scouts back to work.
I don't know how Jay feels
they were
about
out
that.
there sending the cookies out there. It's time to sell some sausage out in front of the store.
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is, we're going to be able, the one positive takeaway is that for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be able to really focus in on the local businesses and meet the owner operators, meet the staff, and virtually do things. We're not there's a containment going on, but we're not spreading anything. But being able to really re-engage with the community, and maybe people who haven't heard from us who could really use some of the resources that we're offering, or Chris is offering, or Zach. It's going to be an incredible 8 weeks.
Well, it is, and I look at us now, and we're just breaking the crust off. 8 weeks. I hope we don't look real rough, man. It's like I've got a full beard, and Jay's drinking blood. I don't.
To know what I'm going to look like, I don't even want to know.
Hairy armpits.
Ew.
Mad. Eating by the loaf. Just like
I'll take the tortillas, please.
That's right. And little Rich will look great. He'll look just like he does that. Right. In a robe, rested and ready, no problem. The shiny, the white teeth. Chris, thank you, and this will hit you every single day going forward here. So
you got it, man. Don't be a stranger, and whatever I can do to help you or anybody else out, give me a shot.
Thank you. This programming, and I like to say, this message from Chris Johnson brought to you by Chris Johnson and Robe Sausage. Thank you for helping us out in the Modern Eater Show and keeping this kind of local programming going. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Enjoy that drink. We'll talk to you soon.
Will do. See ya.
Say hi to the missus.
I will do. You can too.
There you go. There she is.
Hey.
Hi to the missus. How'd he do? He did good, didn't he?
Yeah, he did great.
I think he did too. All right.
It's bring your spouse to the Modern Eater Day or your significant other. I've got Andy and I've got my best girl. We've got the wife on here. I mean, we're just going to keep.
Well, we have it under 10 in here.
It is under 10.
It's under 10.
Yep.
I'm only half, so I mean, come on.
Together, you and I make one.
Yeah. See you guys. Appreciate it. Be good, man. Be healthy.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Chris Johnson. Hey, Jay. Anybody on deck? Did you get a hold of Jensen Cummings?
He's in the middle of something, so I told him to get at me, and then I texted the other guy that she gave me.
Okay, very cool. Just a little update. So as we continue in Studio Kitchen, Colorado, it's 7:14. Continuing on, and you're going to be seeing a lot of us. But what we want to do is be able to give you great information. What's very important is talking to industry leaders, the business people, the local, you are very, very happy with how Governor Polis is handling things here in Colorado, Rich.
Yeah, I was. I just felt true compassion and wanting to hear from us, not just here's what we're going to do and we're shoving it down your throats, and I really don't care why what you have to say about it. I think a good topic to bring up is we're going to see, I think it's pretty easy to say, we're going to see a lot of people pivot to delivery or pickup. And what I would love is in our community of viewers and listeners to share with us, how are they making the choices of what items on the menu? Is it what's easy to prepare? Is it what transport's good? Is there going to be a flocking to comfort food?
Let's dig into this topic.
Comfort food. I want meatloaf.
I was thinking about this earlier, though. So we're closing doors, right, as of now, other than delivery and pickup. I think my guess would be, and I would love feedback from our industry, currently are you going to craft your menu be what you have on shelves and your stuff that's going to go bad that we really can't freeze, we've got to move out the door and then recreate that menu? I think that's a good question for Mark too.
Restaurant food.
Those perishables, what are you doing to ensure that you're not wasting, that you're utilizing every ounce of what you have? I'd love to hear the feedback on that.
Go ahead.
I brought there's tortillas that I make that are perfect for, we're going to make it. It's not going to be eaten. The entree, the taco isn't going to be eaten for 20, 30 minutes. I make specific products for that. And so that's what I'm saying is that there's going to be some food that if it's from the kitchen to the dining room in 5 minutes, it's still alive. It's just as the chef intended.
Mozzarella sticks.
Well, and street tacos are that. Okay, I love, obviously this town loves their tacos because we're making a whole bunch of the tortillas for them. But those, if you make a taco just like you'd serve it and put it in a styrofoam or a sustainable clamshell and deliver it, it dies.
Here's someone on my wish list. Carly Smith, the fairy godmother.
Let's
see if we can get Carly on, because I want to talk more about, I want to inspire chefs. As we are going through, I know we need comfort food. I know we need burgers. But we also need to worry about our immune systems.
Yes.
We need to worry about bolstering our immune systems. And what are some of those items that we can have? Jensen Cummings, if we get Jensen on, he's a big proponent of fermented foods. How can we get more items into the hands of our community that will actually be helpful and more beneficial to our health?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the sooner we're healthy and back at it, and we can show that there's a curb of this virus spreading, the quicker we're going to be back on our feet.
Yep.
So I think it's very imperative that I'd love to see Carly Smith come on and talk a little bit about that as well. But I want to dig into that delivery. So here it is today. The announcement comes down as first, Mayor Hancock. Mayor Hancock announces Denver restaurants. It's going to go until May 11th. I looked at that and I go, it's March. I'm trying to make plans for April. And I go, well, April's shot. Now it's May. And May 11th, right?
Yep.
That's a long ways out. At that point in time, okay, we're going to have curbside, come pick up, or delivery. There's an infrastructure set into place. You've got the Grub hubs. You've got all those folks. But they cost an arm and a leg to do business with.
Take a big chunk of the money.
So how are we going to prevent $30 burgers going to your house because you're ordering through this company that's a large mechanical wheel? I'd like to be able to figure out a solution that's within our community, that's within, your servers aren't working right now, but there's a liability aspect to that. A lot of the reasons why these Grub hubs are so viable and Uber Eats is because they have those liability mechanisms in place, Rich. Well, what do you have a great business mind off the top of your head. How can we navigate around that, or who would be the experts to talk about that?
Ooh, that's good. Well, I think we're going to watch them evolve. I think that's one of those things that, in the past we could outsource it. And we had to absorb that high cost because it was it's not enough of a thing to focus on. Well, right now it is. And I think there's going to be some people that are going to find out, they're going to be forced to find that mechanism that how can I do this profitably and that to still give the customer that experience. It's not going to be like the dining room. But I mean,
right.
I love to go to Angelo's. There's Caesar's Pizza. Yeah, there's Caesar's Pizza, those balsamic ribs. I'm not going to wait until May 12th to go eat those. I got to figure this out. Me as a consumer is like, I want, please make it so I can eat your food, that I can enjoy the food that I've loved for years, maybe decades.
So I think we should
we
should try to get Charles Maines on the show. He does a ton of the to-go containers.
Oh, great idea.
I've got his info. I'm confirming his actual cell with Ruby right now. But Charles, if you're listening, or anybody who's got Charles Maines' actual contact info, please put us in touch.
We can get them all. We're just, Zach Johnson, he's trying to put the smoke signal out for Frank Bonanno. So as the days and the weeks go on, we're going to get so many people in our community. And I guarantee you, this is the Modern Eater's mission. We're going to keep us all together. Come hell or high water. It's very interesting times, and I don't know what's happening in other cities or what resources that they have, but we have each other here in Denver, and this is such a unique community. I have to tell you right now, some of the things from the leaders within our community, very happy to see people reacting very decisively. The Colorado Chefs Association, the ACF, right there, they decided it was very prudent to shut down. I mean, their apprenticeship classes are the heart of what they want to do, and shutting down those apprenticeship classes right now to be prudent and to make sure everybody's safe with food safety, that was just such the right thing to do. So as we move forward and we see these organizations making swift and very decisive movements, those are the things that it just warms my heart to see that folks are communicating, following in line, and doing the right thing for their organizations to make sure that everybody involved is safe.
Yeah. And, I do also, one thing I'll reach out to Rich O'Brien on. I know that he works with Turbo Chef. I'm not sure if Cook Tech is still doing their to-go packaging. When I worked for Middleby back a few years ago, they were releasing like a to-go thing that kept it heated where the McDonald's French fries would stay crisp. And so I don't know if that's something that they're doing with Grubhub or any of that, but it would be phenomenal to hear more on the equipment side also. Again, we're going to get everybody from every end of it. But between Rich and then with Ruby and Carl from Ignite, we're all in this together. So we've got different Great Minds brands. But I'd love to see how the manufacturing side is combating this as well.
Maybe we can get automotive manufacturers down here. Whose car is best for delivering?
I think the Richmobile is.
Well, did you get the Mercedes out? We're going to go make some runs.
I've got a fast option and a real slow, and it's fragile. Like if Emma made a cake, the caddy would be nice and smooth.
That's true. That's true.
We want to hear from you, service industry folks, restaurateurs, manufacturers, producers of products. We've got a Facebook group set up for you. And I think it's a really cool place to be able to go. Food Service Emergency. And foodserviceemergency.com is where you'll find a resource guide of information that hopefully that you'll enjoy. Everything is just being developed and coming together right now. So stay tuned for that. But if you're in the food service industry, please join that Facebook group. It's Food Service Emergency. Just put it in the search bar right there. And any questions or comments that you have, any information you'd like to funnel us, that's a great way to be able to do it. Again, Rebecca Berry joined with us right now. She's with Fourth, and she also has so many great opportunities for you to pick her brain on, do you have HR issues? Do you have things that are going on within your restaurant? You need a resource guide. It's Rebecca Berry. Her email is rebecca.berry@fourth.com. Right now, let's direct our attention to the man.
The other part, the main man on the screen who's got a professional setup going.
Oh, he does that. He's got a headset
look at him,
going
Jensen,
on.
looking good.
I like that. I hope that microphone sounds good. He's the host of Fermenter at Brewed Foods Fermentation. His name is Jensen Cummings. Chef, how are you? And welcome to the Modern Eater Show.
Is my mic on?
Oh, it sounds good, too.
Oh, that's crisp.
Oh, yeah, my $30 headset. I want to be pro like you guys.
Looking good, my man. Lots of information coming out today, and I know you're one of those guys that has your ear to the ground. I just want to give you the first blush. At first blush, what are we seeing here today on Monday?
It's fucking crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable. We in this industry are fierce, if nothing. And so for me personally, it's been very interesting because my energy is very strange today, especially. I am simultaneously scared shitless and excited about the prospect of digging in right now. And I'll tell you why. Because a week ago, I personally was sitting pretty. I was like, this is going to be fun. I got great things on the horizon. I got lots of projects coming up. Money's going to be coming in. And in less than 4 days, gone. Everything is postponed, canceled. Businesses don't even exist anymore. And that's crazy. And then all of a sudden I realized, like so many industry people, there's this like grind, this fire in me right now that's maybe never been there before like this, because now my grit, my entrepreneurial spirits and everybody's is going to be put to the test. We are going to find a way to overcome this. This is going to be one of those moments that people look back at in future generations and say, that was the generation that couldn't be taken down. That this is what it means to be a part of humanity. So I had these very big moments of feeling like I feel good. I feel really good. And so I went into what I always do is support and bring value to people within the industry. That's my North Star. And so in the last 2 days, I don't know, you guys have seen it. I've posted it over 100 different times and articles and links and memes, anything to educate people, make them laugh, make them know where they have those resources. And it's really, really important. We've also, my wife, Betsy, who a lot of people out there know, amazing. She's literally, before I even got up this morning, I'm snoring in bed, and she put together this hashtag 86 coronavirus direct donation spot up on Best Served podcast. What was really interesting about it, and the reason that she wanted to do this, was because there's going to be lots of opportunities to support the industry. And we wanted to create a one-on-one relationship just like we do in restaurants. And so this was less about charity. It was about paying it forward to the people who have served you, have cooked for you for years and years and years and years. And so industry professionals can go right on there, give their title of where they're working, put their Venmo or PayPal information right there, and a person can go right on and support that individual person. So it's just amazing how we're galvanizing at this moment, because that's what we do, right? And that's been really, really important. I love what you guys are doing in this, because that's another pivot we're going to have in the Best Served podcast over the next little bit, as people just keep hitting me with like fear and, tears. It's been hard, you guys know. And so we're going to be doing live shows like this, just short little 30-minute live shows to give people real-time information, more resources, tell some stories about what we're cooking at home or what's on Netflix, just something. Get some information and decompress at the same time. Laugh and learn is the best way to go about it. So that's what's happening in my world. What's going on with you guys?
I like laugh and learn, Jensen. I think that's a great way to say it. I mean, it takes a little bit of that fear away. I think we're all scared.
Well, I think we're unpacking a lot right now. Mm-hmm. I think that the shock is still setting in. I don't know that any of us can predict what things are going to look like 4, 6, 8 weeks out. How are we going to be holding up? I think that we do really all have each other. Anything that we can do to support each other, just like I want to send people to Best Served podcasts to make them laugh or cry or feel each other. But what I unpacked from what you just said, Jensen, there was a couple of things. The number one thing that I want to take away from that is this galvanizing moment, this moment to where it's that survival, the sink or swim moment, and there's no question in my mind we're gonna swim. We're not going to sink, and we're going to galvanize together, and it's going to make this even better. Another thing about the service industry is, don't make any mistake. There's a lot of servitude. These people want to serve and make other people happy. It's happened for so long. If you don't figure out a way, and I think your wife is completely onto something, on how you can directly give back to those who just so unabashedly gave to you, to continue to give back to them, because when the 8 weeks is up, guess who we're expecting to come back to work? Those folks. And
Such a true story.
And let's be great to them right now, because there is no doubt in my mind, Katie bar the doors. When the curtain is lifted back up, we're going back to restaurants, and we're going to come back with this fervor that's stronger than ever, with this relish of, we didn't know what we had until it was gone. And that's the life lesson that I think most of us always recognize, is hindsight is 20/20. and giving us a little bit of hindsight. You know what? There's a correction in the stock market a lot of times. There's a correction in life. There's a correction within ourselves in humility. There's a correction going on right now, and we're talking about service industry because that's what we love. It's in the business that we're in. There's a correction going on right now. You know what? I believe more than anything else, that pendulum is going to swing back the other way to maybe there is that day to where restaurants aren't suffering, to where the disconnect of wages from the front of the house to the back of the house isn't so severe, that some of these topics are actually addressed. And you know what? Sometimes it's when you're alone at home, naked in the dark, with only your mind and your thoughts to be able to confront yourself with these problems, is that now maybe, just maybe, we all have the time on our hands to where we can reflect and actually see what the solutions are to bring this generation of folks to say, it's okay to work in the service industry. This isn't a fly-by-night industry that's going to lift you from one job to the next job, that this is a career. This is something that we love and that we actually have a lot of pride and honor to be in. And I think that that's what's going to happen in this time of setting things down and saying, we've got some time to reflect.
You know, Greg, on that level, I think
Drop your mic.
No,
Just drop the mic.
I'll tell you what.
Woo,
and Jensen,
that was fire.
Thank you for bringing us some of that passion. And I think that that's the type of thing to when you said the uncertainty, you didn't know whether to be pissed off or happier than hell. And that in the middle, that humility, that knowing, that balance, that chi, that gut health. We all need a gut check right now, Jensen.
Yeah, adversity always breeds innovation, and it hurts sometimes. There's going to be a lot of pain. And the conversations that I had, I can just feel that pain over the phone. Hell, I can feel it in a text, and I can feel it in a comment on Facebook. It's visceral. It is so palpable right now. What I'm excited about is tomorrow morning when you wake up, you dust yourself off, and you start doing shit. People in this industry are some of the most creative, some of the most collaborative that you'll find anywhere in any industry, anywhere in the world. And so I'm excited about that because whatever comes out of this moment of despair is going to be epic. It's going to be big. Yeah. And like me, even my wife and I, we have 2 young sons. We're freaking out. And then all of a sudden we go, you know what? Let's go. Like, it's time for us to put our money where our mouth is. We believe in the hospitality industry. We're going to go all in. We're tripling down on the humans in hospitality. And we're like side hustling like no other. I feel like I'm 22 again, just like grinding and hustling.
I know.
We're here at home, like making bone broth and Thai curry and like selling delis to our neighbors. Just to,
now,
like,
wait a minute, dude.
Make it roll.
My segue, because I want to have Carly Smith on do this. But now through this time, how do we encourage? We're pivoting to curbside pick up for delivery, that type of thing. We need gut health right now. We need to bolster our immune systems. We need to get chefs in line of like saying, I know we need comfort food, but make it comfort food that's going to make me strong and healthy. What do you think, Jensen?
That's the number one. Bone broth has been the thing. It's been a thing for us for a while. My wife, Betsy, she's the Hearty Mama. Check her out on Instagram. She has been, shameless plug, dropping it like the hustle.
John, the Hearty Mama, I'm about to jump on my...
Yeah. She did a really amazing video called Mama to Mama where she talked to her friend who lives in Italy right now. And it's been interesting, the community she's building. We had a moment 2 weeks ago where she watched a coronavirus, whatever, was freaked out and said, do we have 2 weeks worth of food? And I said, hell yeah, we do. I make so many soups and random stuff. We got a second freezer completely stocked. We're good for a month. And she goes, and this is an important moment in our life. She says, could we do that for other people? Yes. And I was in right away. And so we started making bone broth and a couple other things. And I've made bone broth for like expecting mothers or new mothers, things like that. And it's in us now of supporting that community. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. And so we just started making it and getting around to our neighbors, to our friends, to some of her mom group friends. And all of a sudden now, less than a week later, 5 days later, all of a sudden it went from us to supporting them to this is a two-way street because I have no other income coming in.
Yes, sir.
We'll be okay for a little while, but nothing else coming in. I'm like, I'm going to grind one $10 deli at a time, and I love it. Yeah. I love it. So bone broth, number one, and then you know me, kimchi. I mean, get those probiotics, people.
I know.
You know.
Get those put your hat down. Is that a Best Served podcast hat?
This is the what is this? This is brewed food.
Is that brewed food?
Yeah, we got the little S bubbler there, right, for beer and for fermenting food.
Yeah. Are you selling those?
Well, I am now. Now I got to like merchandise and stuff, you know.
Well, here's the deal. So my whole thing, I told Greg, I'm so mismatched today, but it's because this was the best local gear I had between Deviation and Angelo's. Is I would love to wear a hat, a shirt, I don't know, have a bumper sticker that I can show off about our local concepts when we're on for forever, but to really start advertising more of the brands that we work with that are in our entire community. So throw it out there. I will wear your gear.
We're all going to do it. Listen. So Jamie Lee Gonzalez, Jensen, bro, you're the best way to change the narrative. And I think, listen, that's what needs to be done. Again, I think we're a little kind of punch drunk right now because it's day one. We got to motivate. We got to keep in there together. We got to just stay true, stay down that course, stay focused, look to the future. The future is around the corner. This will go away. The weather will break. It'll warm up. We'll get this curbed. This virus does suck. We don't really know what we're dealing with. Protect the elderly, protect the underserved, get the food in the bellies. And Jensen, I want people to really not only listen to your better podcasts, and I can't wait to see some of your lives, but at the same time, learn more. And the spirit guide that you are when it comes to education about gut health and fermented foods, probably none better. I'd suggest looking up Jensen for probably just that too.
Please do. He's good. He's really good. And I think at this point too, the more vocal we are, the better as a community. So Jensen has a great voice that he shares, and it's just, we're going to be on, all of us. And I am excited. We'll be watching you live from here at the Studio Kitchen.
Yeah. And we'll check back in. Jensen, do you mind if we check back in, hit your phone, ping you every once in a while?
Please do. The conversation's important. We need the dialogue. We need a place to both vent. There's going to be some venting. There's animosity and anger, and we don't know who to blame, all that. There's also going to be opportunity to reflect and go internal and bring some of that in. And we're going to have fun. We always find a way to have fun, no matter what. We've gotten our teeth kicked in a couple times in this industry. We're going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you hunkered down in the bunker there? Where's the missus? Is she somewhere
upstairs? I can't believe you guys can't hear. The two boys are going crazy. Every time I try to do anything like this, they turn up the volume just a little bit for us. But honestly, any of the parents out there, and there's a lot in this industry right now, I feel like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness, where his son never knew that they were sleeping in the subway bathroom. He just thought it was an adventure. So we promised ourselves our boys are going to have the best time of their lives right now, no matter what. And that's important.
I know.
That's important.
That was good stuff, Jensen. Thanks for
Can I mic drop too? It's harder to mic drop a headset, but whatever.
You can do it, man. Love you, brother. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, and follow the Hardy Mama. I just followed her, so great Instagram. Let's just share the love. Thanks, Jensen.
All right.
Cheers.
Jensen Cummings. I needed that conversation.
That was good. That got me more revved up. I feel like we've been at it all day,
out of me,
but
didn't it, Richie?
Yeah, it sure did.
I feel like we need a styrofoam or rubber mic to let him drop, so we're not going to hurt anything.
We're going to do sanitizer drops now.
Oh, that's true. You can drop the sanitizer. You can do the drop.
Here.
Yeah,
do a tortilla drop.
Well, if there's
you got that left. We've got a whole refill for you. All right, as we continue the Modern Eater.
With jazz hands.
Studio Kitchen, Colorado. It's 7:39. Yes, we are live, and we're going to be doing a lot of this. Rebecca, I hope you're settled in.
My cot, my sleeping bag are in the corner.
You need food. Where did Andy go?
I don't know. Probably somewhere grand. Knowing him, we'll have to get him on. Actually, he was here 2 weeks ago helping Blonde Beards do the grilling over on the Green Egg. So. Yeah, I think Andy's a staple of the show now, too, somehow. And we've got Gabrielle, who's worked with Deviation Distilling. So we've got a lot of support in the house.
I know. Again, I'm worried but optimistic. I think Jensen nailed that a little bit, Richie. You're a hard one to ever tell. I don't know that you ever lead on to me that you're, fearing or that you think things are going to go wonky. I think you're kind of one of those very optimistic, positive guys. But I think you're getting a lot of that because of some of these leaders that you're talking to in this community that are, you're saying, I think we're in pretty good hands with some folks here.
Well, I think so. I think also, what I think we're faced with is a lot of the people right now in this industry have only been through an upturn, through a boom. And once you go through a couple of these busts and you find out this is what has to be done, and I have to be calm and keep my nose to the ground, and I have to bust my ass and roll up my sleeves and do some sacrifices, but I'm going to get through there. You learn a lot about yourself, what you're truly capable. You learn way more about yourself in diversity than when all the lights and accolades are there. And, you go through enough of those, and yeah, you tend to get a little confident, and I'm not the thing confident, but that I've seen this before. I know what it takes to go through that. And that's what I'm trying to share with people. This is what you got to do.
Yeah, Hancock today comes out, and I think that it was in the pipes. Probably Friday. This was already determined to shut down restaurants here in the metro area, and which they did. And they had, it's one of those things to, part of me thinks that they would have just shut the whole operation down altogether. But things are so dire for restaurants. Those types of that you have to give them an outlet to be able to try and make a little bit of revenue, a little bit of income coming in.
They're going to figure out a different way. Looking back at us, when Ron and I got the keys to the plant, we didn't watch the news. We didn't read the newspaper. We took over in 81. It was a horrible time of the economy, but we didn't know. And we just kept fighting. We had $1 billion company try to take over the tortilla industry and did everything they could to kill us and every other small tortilla manufacturer. And a lot of them and us, we survived. But you learn that grit. You learn more through this. And that's what I think people are the unknown. They don't know that they have what it takes to get through this. They can do this pivot. They can succeed through this. And they will be better when it's all done.
It's hard to motivate right now. A few things, and we're going to give you some updates here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. It's hard. I look at the Mark Whistlers of the world. That's just really like, how am I going to survive? But you have employees to motivate when you need motivation. You ever had to do that in your life, Rich? You're just so down. You don't even know how you're going to keep yourself going. You're sick to your stomach. You don't know the light of day. You can't find your ass from a hole in the ground, right? And then you have the same task to motivate somebody that counts on you. What a daunting task that is.
Well, I remember we would go through things where we didn't know when we were going to make payroll. And we had, all these debts and all these things on us. And we did not see how we were going to go. Even just like, I remember on a Thursday night, Friday's payroll, what are we going to do? And we ended up getting really, really creative. And we had people that gave compassion to us. And so that's what I was talking about. I'll tell you what I did. I went to one of our customers who I still take care of to this day. And this was in the late 80s. And I said, man, I need you. I need some help. Can you pay me in advance? Can you pay us in advance for a little bit just to keep us floating and stuff? And you get creative. It's just, you find a way. But if we're all in this thing of as supplier, manufacturer, distributor, and user, if we're all going to hold each other to that, hey, you've got 7-day terms and that's it. I'm going to cut you off and all that stuff. You're cutting off your nose because eventually you've killed off everybody. This is that thing we all have to hang on together and take little steps together and keep each other alive and vibrant and keep intact with. Let somebody keep their respect. Don't belittle somebody. That's the worst thing you can do.
I think all of us coming together, and I think this is going to be a huge thing for our industry and our Colorado market, is us sitting here each day, specifically Jay, Greg, and myself, because Rich, you've got a company to run and people to employ. I have a job, but my job right now, I'm not going to go out and ask people for business. that's right now. I am here to help them because this is not the time nor the place.
Great point.
However, I am fortunate enough that I can be able to be supported by my company to be able to support our industry. I think as we grow, we're going to have people who have never met each other, people that are in these new businesses, old businesses, people who've been around since the 80s that we're going to be able to have on the show and be able to introduce and, hey, do you need a CPA? Do you need an attorney? Do you need to get in touch with somebody here, X, Y, and Z? We're going to be that place for a resource. And I think that's the biggest piece of what we're doing is I'm committed to being here as much as I need to be to support our industry and keep thriving and make sure people keep their doors open.
It was because you loved us.
I love you guys, but I love the community more, I got to say.
I
So I think that's the biggest thing, though, is for us to be able to be that consultative piece and rely on you guys who are calling in, people like Jensen and everybody across the board, Zach, you name it, to just make sure that we are not hurting each other in the process, that we're building each other up and helping the sport keep the doors open. That's the biggest thing.
As new information comes in, Rich.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I'm going to say that be compassionate enough to keep each other alive. As far as like, hey, if somebody's into me for 50 grand, I'm like, well, you may not be able to cough up the 50 grand today, but keep me alive. Here's what I need. Let's keep each other going. Those are the types of conversations that we're probably going to have for the next few months.
I'm really worried about the folks that are just, someone that says, I'm a server, I lost a job. I'm looking for another one. And guess what? They're not there.
They're going to have to pivot. I think those are the people that if they love this industry, they're going to be like, give me my keys. I'll go deliver food. I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to still be that person, that ambassador of hospitality. Yeah. I'm going to be the best.
So I do want to hear from owners and operators as we go through this process. If you do need more support on delivering, because I know plenty of people who are going to need a position who will take it. If you need help at night filtering your oil, as I joke around doing, I actually, because my history with RTI, I can filter for free for you.
But don't go blind. Ask people stuff, because we have an opportunity to where we have a great sponsor, Ewing Levitt, as far as insurance goes.
Yep.
Please reach out to somebody that's smarter than you. That's what I do. I always defer to somebody.
That's easy for us to reach out to someone
we can't be the smartest people in the room.
Figure out what your new liabilities are for the new capabilities that you want to do. It's a very prudent thing to do. I wish I had their number or something. Maybe Jay can flash that on there. But look at your insurance needs for that. Just make sure you're covered. A few things that are coming into the kitchen here. This is news earlier on this day, and earlier on in the day, and this comes from Aspen Baking Company. And think of a great service to the community, especially when Jeff's listening. Oh, cool. Aspen Baking Company. Now, this isn't something where they're direct to public. Just off there, you're going to go to a store to get that, or you're through food service. That's generally how that goes. Attention bread. This is how it reads. Attention bread. This is a shout out. As grocery stores continue to sell out of bread amid the coronavirus fears, Aspen Baking Company, and now remember this, and I'll post this on the Food Service Emergency Facebook group. Aspen Baking Company will be selling bread to the public, guys.
And it's good. I mean,
the best. We almost should have Jay do his Aspen Baking Company live for them. To the public tomorrow, March 17th, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. As a commercial bakery, this is something that has never been done before. But our hope is to help out the community in need. Important information. Here's the address. Aspen Baking Company, 8035 East 40th Avenue. That's 8035 East 40th Avenue in Denver. Cash only. $5 each. 2-pound loaves of white and wheat bread. 22 slices of bread per loaf. These are larger loaves, okay? Larger loaves than the stocked loaves at grocery stores. All natural, non-GMO, and preservative-free. This is the good stuff, the real stuff. It's available for you, sold until supplies last. You drive up. Be clean. Don't be sick.
Be kind.
Have your hands washed.
Patient.
They hand you the bread. They take the money, and you're on your way.
And
okay,
Greg, just so you know, so we can share with everybody who's listening, they are off the frontage road off of Quebec. I
don't get stuck behind the train.
No, that train is awful. Right where Smith Road hits,
that'll delay you to your breath.
Left. Yeah, and just again, guys, be kind, be thoughtful. Don't go if you're sick handing money. But this is going to be incredible service for lunch at Perry's when I was bringing some food the other day, and Cody Ann took incredible care of me. And self-delivered it. So, I mean, it's a great brand that we want to ensure the public knows about.
That's the bread I eat at home. If it's not a tortilla, it's Aspen bacon.
So, listen, I mean, I just want you guys to know is that, this isn't us sitting here and we're just okay. Things are tough for us all the way around. Jay Parker, probably the hardest working man in show business over here, just knuckled down, nose to the grindstone, doing his thing. This is a man that was, he moonlights as a bartender. Just a few short weeks ago, the restaurant and bar that he worked for shuttered their doors. He was left without a job. Uncertainty. This is before coronavirus. He was faced with having to get a new job within a couple of days. He does go and get a new job within a couple of days, 2 days, I think, 1 day maybe it was, he got a job at Sam's, number 3. Sam's just closed their doors down for unforeseeable time. He's out doing everything he can with Lyft driving and staying alive that way. But this times are tough, and the resources need to be there. On our new Facebook page, Food Service Emergency Facebook page, we just posted a link that came into Bartender Emergency Assistance Program. If you're a bartender, there's a program out there from USBG, National Charity Foundation, that's just for bartenders. It's a relief fund, and you may be eligible. It has the eligibility requirements listed right there. But more and more, as we get information for these types of programs, please funnel them to us so that we can share them with other folks. And maybe, just maybe, that's a resource that will keep our beloved Jay Parker still alive, which we need to do.
Yeah.
I thought I saw one of my favorite chefs on our.
We did. We just had a little jazz hand hello to her.
A little preview. I can't see her.
Who is it?
That's
y'all.
Mystery chef.
It's our favorite mystery chef. Well, they're all our favorite, but we have an incredible mystery chef.
I just don't see the video right now.
I'm here.
Are you there? Did you do anything
to be with you guys?
Video before I introduce you? We want to see your face, and I don't quite see your face yet. I saw it for one fleeting second. Try and get that figured out. We're going to just keep.
Is it Aunt Jemima?
Chef, just
see her.
Okay,
there.
Yep. Sorry. Does that work?
There she is.
Is that me?
Chef Elise Wiggins. I'd ask you how you are, but I think we already know how everybody is. A little bit nervous and tense.
Yeah. I literally just got back from delivering dinner to lots of people that were ordering takeout. So it's surreal. Honestly, it's surreal.
Hey, Chef, before you get going, and I apologize for interrupting you, but can you point your camera down? I'm only seeing half of your face.
Sorry.
There. Now we're in business. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you, Chef.
Right.
Joining us right there from Captivella, Elise Wiggins, and the new PBS Rocky Mountain show. It's Roots to Ranches, and I am probably your number one fan, Chef. How are you?
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I am learning so much, and I'm enjoying myself. And probably for the foreseeable weeks ahead, that's going to be one of the things that I jump to as my escape.
Woo, I hope so. I hope everybody's escaping that way, because that was certainly a lot more fun than all this that's happening right now. So I can tell you that.
Okay, what are we seeing? We just want to get your take and then see what's happening with Captivella. And I'm sure you're pivoting a lot, and there's a lot of smart minds going on right now. But we just kind of want to navigate this with us. It makes us feel better.
Yeah, I mean, one, I want to say that more than anything, and I think all of us in the restaurant industry feel this way, is that we're stressed for our employees. I'm nothing without them. And, a lot of these employees are, tip wages or hourly wages, and they're hurting real, real bad. And, I don't know, there's not a whole lot that we can do but press the government to hurry up and make this decision. to actually, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I got a fuzzy screen from y'all, but like, just want to make
Loud
sure.
and clear. You're doing great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Here's my frustration is that we know that the incubation period is 8 days. And if we all shut down all businesses, and I mean all businesses, for 2 weeks solid, it would show who is sick. Then these people could come out of quarantine or go into quarantine, and then we could go back to business as usual. But instead, we're dragging this thing out. We're only closing certain businesses for a certain amount of time. And then that means this thing can spread again. So yeah, we're slowing it down, but are we stopping it? No. Which means it's going to just drag out longer and longer and longer. And so again, I'm thinking of my staff. I'm not, truly thinking of my business. I'm hurting more for my staff than anything else. These people. I have a woman that just had twins. And she's a single mom. And how is she going to provide for those babies without working? It's a heavy, heavy thing. And so everybody that I've talked to, at least in our business and a few others, feel the same way. Why isn't our government just shutting down for 2 weeks so we can take care of this? I mean, 2 weeks, hemorrhaging for 2 weeks without money, we can handle. Months, year, I mean, it's going to implode all of us.
Yeah, Chef, what's your best guess? I mean, here's my guess. My guess is that the thought process is too much shock to everybody's system, just going from 100 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour, and that this counterproductive thought processes of we don't want the restaurants and service industry and other businesses to suffer and hemorrhage, that we need to get a little bit of revenue in where you can and grab it, that it's almost like putting a Band-Aid on a geyser.
Yes, exactly. Someone just got their arm cut off. And you want to put a Band-Aid on it. We have to, unfortunately, I love how you use Band-Aid. We need to rip that Band-Aid off and shut the whole United States down, every single business for 2 weeks. And I mean, literally that would answer all of our questions. It would tell us who is sick, and then we could take care of them, and then we could all go back to business as usual.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
You know what I mean?
2 weeks. A lot different than 2 months. And I spoke earlier when Mark Whistler was on that. Credit card companies are giving a lot of relief right now. There's an extension on a lot of things that could get the service industry through. 2 weeks is tough, but 8 weeks is tougher. And I was telling Greg and the team earlier, I mean, my brother is 26 years old and works his butt off and just got laid off today because his establishment, they have to just choose to go, and he's not vital at that moment. They need a cook, they need somebody to clean, and they need a manager. And that's about it. And, he's not in a place where he can just go hop to another job. He's going to have to figure out how to maneuver, which I will be here to help him, obviously, but how to maneuver in the industry. But he's a damn good bartender and a bar manager. Now, what does he do?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So scary.
And I hate to be insensitive about those things, but I think of your 26-year-old brother who has his whole life ahead of him. But about somebody that's really settled into life, and we're on life support, a lot of us right now. And you talk about let's rip the Band-Aid off. Chef Elise Wiggins here with us on the Modern Eater stream tonight as we go wall to wall talking about the effects of this. The analogy that I used earlier is, right now what we're facing with the 8 weeks is, I guess, that we're just being very, very safe. It's like a haircut. You can't put it back on, but you can take it off. They're taking it off right now, but what do you think? Do you think they'll give it back to us? Do you think they'll say, okay, let's come out now and things are safe and it's only 3.5 or 4 weeks in?
Right. That makes zero sense to me.
I don't think they know enough, right? I mean, to even backtrack on it, it's just, we're hoping we do, right?
I think you're being sweet. I think you're being sweet and giving them more credit than what they deserve.
I love this.
Let me tell you,
when you say
we've seen what's happened to China.
Bless your sweetheart.
Yeah, we have seen what has happened to Italy, and everybody was making fun of Italy whenever they started shutting down their borders because everybody was getting so sick. And then they were like, oh, they're just being draconian and they're being ridiculous. Well, look now, you know? And so we're still not stopping commerce. People are still moving around. We haven't shut all businesses down. And so this thing is going to keep doing its thing. Yeah, it's gonna go slower as far as like making people sick, but it's still gonna make people sick. And that's the thing, is like this whole like we can't stop the commerce kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing something that's out there. I'm not a mathematician. Perhaps I'm not seeing something, but to me, it's like, it's very simple. 2 weeks shutting down. I can handle 2 weeks. I think most of my employees can handle 2 weeks, you know, and then after that, it's back to business.
But months.
We've got 2 months officially right now, and I don't see the bloodletting stopping. I mean, even our government's, you know, top doctors are saying the worst is yet to come. You know, and so we've just started with the shutdown. So if the worst is yet to come, we haven't even hit that peak yet. So it's so frustrating to me. It's just so frustrating to me. And like right now, you know, like I'm delivering food to everybody, and I appreciate my client support and stuff like that. And any tips I give to my staff that are working that night. But that's just three people that I can give that to, and I have to split it. That's nothing compared to what they're used to being paid.
Yeah. Well, I know we're not going to be able, you know, we're not making the rules right now. We're just living in them, all of us right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have your own nucleus and your own bubble of people, and with the confines and constrictions that you have to work in. Elise, what are some of the decisions you and your team are making right now to move forward?
Yeah, so I had to lay off all of my front of the house staff. I had to lay off also my cook staff. And so right now it is myself, my sous chefs, my general manager. I had to lay off a manager. And so we're just kind of plugging and playing with some of the other employees. I will tell you, though, I got a great call from a friend of mine that is part of the Restaurant Association, and he said that they're really pushing to get Governor Polis to support us and open up and make an amendment to our liquor laws. So any of us that are actually doing delivery, that we can actually sell bottles of wine or beer to the guests, because I have clients ask me all the time when I'm taking it. And unfortunately, you know, we don't have a retail license. So they're asking for them to make an amendment for just a short amount of time for us to do that. And then also to be able to make an amendment where we can have our employees become contract workers, such as a server, where they can make the delivery and keep the tips and get a certain percentage of the profit. But as of right now, you know, we're waiting on, you know, Governor Polis. So if anybody's listening to this and they're interested in supporting that, then please reach out to the Restaurant Association, reach out to Governor Polis's office, because I think in the next 2 days, he's going to be making a decision about this. And the more people that support this, then the more likely we are to get it passed.
Yeah, a lot you said there. When you talk about laying off basically everybody except your close knit team with is that a benefit because you want them to have unemployment?
Yes.
Those types of things? Yes.
Yes, because, you know, as of right now, you know, them working a little bit and, you know, getting tips compared to how much they would make for unemployment, it's just not the same. I mean, and unemployment, I hope people aren't fooled. Unemployment pays like what, 32% of what you normally make?
Very low.
Yeah, very, very low. So if you think about, okay, I'm sustaining on my 100% of what money I'm normally making, and then you cut that down to a third, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's going right to your living essentials. You're not going out and on a shopping
That's what
spree.
everybody's doing is, I mean, literally they are just negotiating to be able to live so that they're not evicted from their apartments or rentals or whatever it may be, or the more, you know, with the mortgage, it's unfortunate, but you have time with a mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, if you are renting, and I don't know if there are any, if you guys know if there's anything in place right now to protect the state on living costs, but I mean, you've signed a lease, you have to pay. So if you're delayed, you start to incur fees. and those
Little Rich,
penalties.
Little Rich Schneider here with us as well, Lise. You can't see him; he's outside of them, but you'll hear Little Rich's voice. This just in, you got an email of some things, and again, things are so fluid and ever changing that there can be truths out there that were true yesterday and not true today, and tomorrow's truth's going to look a lot different from today. So it's fluid information as we're getting it, and we're seeing larger organizations, and it's almost like this trickle down thing. But here it is from the Colorado Lodging and Hotel Association.
The Colorado Hotel and Lodging Association. I just got this email. The headlines: Governor's orders closing restaurants exempts hotels. So apparently restaurants inside of hotels are able to stay open. And further down, and I have to kind of read through this a little bit, but it also looks like they're allowing the restaurants at DIA to remain open as well.
So here's just another example, Elise, of just like, okay, you're going to keep perpetuating this right now. And are we ever going to get to the end of this thing as we put more Band-Aids on the hemorrhage?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is going to be something that...
That's an awkward move that I just heard right there, Richie.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, Chef, those are some of the largest areas that people are in, right? So for your Stapleton and Stapleton, you're going to have families who probably don't go out as much, will order more takeout, but you're in an airport where you probably will have more than 10 people in an establishment at a time if they are traveling.
Well, I'm guessing for travelers, though, if you deplane or you're waiting for whatever to get on another plane and you want to eat or drink something, that's what I think it's for. I don't think it's like the well, we'll have to see.
I would really like to see, and listen, I'm sure this is Greg Holland back in dreamland. I would like to see some of the folks that own restaurants in DIA say, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to shut our doors down.
Well, and it's interesting that you said that, because we were already talking about in the safety for our employees and for our clients. We were already before Governor Polis, or Mayor Hancock pulled the trigger. We were going to shut the restaurant down and do only delivery anyway, because we didn't want to be part of the problem. A very, very difficult decision to do. But this is really frustrating because they're already saying that we don't encourage people to fly, yet, they're allowing airport restaurants, that house lots and lots of people to keep functioning. It's just prolonging the problem. And it's really frustrating to me. I mean, maybe because they're corporate and they have deep pockets and they're able to continue to fund their people, whether people walk in or not. I mean, I don't know, and good for those employees that are still getting paid. But it is prolonging the problem. And I have an issue, and I'm peeved. I'll put it nicely. I'm peeved about this because I'm thinking of my own, employees and the employees for other people, that are independent restaurants that, can't continue to pay them.
I know they would probably hate to hear this. And again, I pivot back and forth with my emotions from, how do we handle this? And I like to see the folks keep open. And I know just throwing, a couple $100 into a restaurant's pocket to be able to, I don't know, pay the light bill, whatever, whatever. Is that the best thing for all of us right now? And it's almost like Chef Elise Wiggins here with us. Maybe we should be proposing stuff like close down Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that, but because there's so much commerce in the United States, that unless all states do it at the same time, it will not be effective. And unfortunately, we also are going to have to shut our borders down for 2 weeks. And then here's all the other risky part, is that we've got to try and encourage these other countries to do the same, because otherwise this thing will never stop. My mom's a nurse, and she's like, I was like, when's this thing going to stop? And she goes, when they find a cure. Other than that, it won't stop.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not so sure that that's in the near future either. Yeah, I mean, we're really, I feel it's a suffocating moment. The walls are closing in on us, and we could probably go around the room and I'll say, "Hey, Little Rich, do you know anybody with coronavirus?" You're probably going to say no.
Yeah. No.
Elise, do you know anybody with coronavirus? No,
I don't.
In the weeks ahead, you will. You will. And you're going to start getting those stories, and it's going to be very real and apparent to you on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And things are going to start getting a little bit sideways. Like I said, right now, we're a little bit punch drunk. We don't know how to react. It's day one. I can't wait to see how we all look 60 days in down the road here.
Oh yeah.
Especially when maybe your wife, Elise, or your boyfriend, or Rich.
I don't
Your car, Rich. Your car.
Your car has.
I like the way Greg looks at me. What are you?
Yeah, you're whatever, Rich. That's a real thing. Is that this is just this
I
is
needed
Actually, our peanut gallery is laughing over there. So I have
at my expense.
I have my boyfriend and my best friend over there, Elise, and they are both just like dying over this.
That's awesome. I needed that. I so needed that.
Hopefully my point wasn't lost, and that I don't know that we're all going to be such uptick, very happy types of people a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months down the road, especially if we're running around in circles trying to catch the dog's tail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People keep talking, oh, it's going to be maybe a recession. I'm like, a recession? How about a depression? Because half of the United States pretty much will just lost their job, or if not, they will. It was just in the paper, and so, this is huge, just huge. And I think they're sugarcoating it,
Chef, I appreciate your honesty on that, because I think that's a really tough word for people to hear and acknowledge. And through all of our laughter and everything, I think we all know the underlying, possibility. And I appreciate your realness on that, because it is scary. We're all having these conversations today, and I think there's not just the fear of the drop, there's fear of a severe depression, and we don't know how to combat it.
I appreciate the banter, and especially your candor. And you're one that really never pulls any punches. And I don't think you pretend that you know everything at all. But I think you're a very insightful, intuitive person. Look into your crystal ball, Chef. What are you seeing with the road, the trajectory that we're on right now? Well, what do you see a few weeks down the road?
A few weeks?
A few weeks down the road. And let's keep it within service industry.
I hope I'm wrong, but I see that this illness is going to spread more, and I think people are going to become more fearful, and they're going to lock down even more. So I don't even though there's lots of educational pieces that are out there as far as getting your food delivered and it's cooked, and how it kills bacteria and things like that, I think people are going to get even more scared, because the people that are out there that are most vulnerable, as we all know, are the older people. And we all have older people in our lives.
Absolutely. I've told my mom not to leave the house. I'll go get what you need. And it's actually funny. I see her. I look through the front window of the house I grew up in, and I talk to her on the phone and communicate through the window as we pass each other the things through the mailbox. What a time we live in right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is everybody's like, oh, it's fine for young people or whatever. And I'm like, everybody's got an older person. Like, everybody, it's not just about the young, it's about the older people. So unfortunately, I think in 2 weeks, it's the hammer's really going to drop, and we're going to really, I hope in 2 weeks maybe the peak of the worst will come out. I really don't know. I don't see it being good.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I'm not a doomsdayer, but I think I'm a realist, and I'll just throw this at you. I'll look into my crystal ball. The folks that were on the cusp of either surviving or not in a business, let's face it, restaurants margins are so small. Profitability, what's that? Truly, if you're doing great, if you're one of the best restaurants, 7% off the bottom line, maybe 8% profitability. Yeah. The folks that were on the bubble, let's just say, they're going to just say, come get your keys, Mr. Landlord. Come grab them. And the folks with minimal resources and very little working capital are just going to say, you know what? This is the time. Katie, bar the door. I'm out of here. I'm through the back. Come grab your keys. And that saddens me beyond belief.
Yeah. It's scary.
It is scary. It is super scary. But it's literally going to make or break people, in this business. But I will say there's one potential ray of light. When this is all said and done, and we finally get back to, I think, heading back into normal, I think so many people are going to come out in droves to support us,
I
because
agree.
overwhelmingly, when I make these deliveries, I take the call, I, do these things. We're so sorry for you guys because it is impacting you so much, And I strongly feel that when we come back, it'll just be this huge outpouring of support. And so if people can just hang on,
Yeah.
however long that might be, but just hang on, do whatever you can, and just scratch to survive. I mean, talk to all of your, people that you owe money to, your landlord and your credit cards and everything, like, because I've already done that. I did that last week. And, they're all just like, thank you for telling me, we'll take care of you. You're a good client. And, they're really cutting me deals and forgiving me for what is potentially going to happen, and right now we're in the midst of it's happening.
Yeah. Communicate.
And so my bank, they're awesome too. They're going to defer my loan for 90 days.
Wow, you're on it.
Yeah,
you are on top of
and
things.
that's what I was saying. I mean, Chef, this is the conversation I was saying earlier, is that be proactive now, because the waiting line to make these phone calls, and most of us have a loan or a credit card debt of some sort. The credit card companies are willing to go anywhere from 30 to 90 days on a stretch and work with you. The more proactive you are, the better.
I know, and please don't, Chef. Next time you see me, don't slap me for this. But on the other side of this, I don't want to see the only folks left as the Troy Guards and the Bonanos and these folks that they've. I want to see Jesucio Silva do great at the Broadway Market. I want that to come back. And Carrie Baird just made a move from Bardot, and she said she opened up a small spot in Rosetta Hall in Boulder. And she said, what I'll remember is that the week I decided to do this is the week that we ushered coronavirus in here. And these folks that are just like,
Cindy Riley with Deviation, Tori Schumacher with Hazel.
And we could go on and on forever. It's
sure. But, I think in some of those breaths, these people that you mentioned, there's a lot of people that believe in them. And they're going to understand if they do go under, then, if they have another investor that's going to come around, they believe in them. So I hope that they have faith inside themselves.
Oh, I love you said that.
It will come around again. Nobody's going to be like, oh, it was your fault because of the coronavirus. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say that. They know that those people are really tremendous chefs, and they're create profitable businesses and things like that. So, just know that it's not the end.
I love it.
I think that's the best statement.
Yeah,
just know it's not the end.
And it's not.
Thank
and things
you,
are, the pastures are going to be green again, right? I mean, that's just the way that works out. It's looking really comfortable over there, wherever you're at. I think that
my
house.
That's the least way. Hey, don't give out the address, but if I show up at the door, will you let me in the dog door?
Of course.
Nobody will let you even in the dog door. Nice try.
I love you, Chef. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Chef. We love you.
Before you go, can you give, what's the next episode? Because a lot of people are going to, if you haven't watched yet, okay,
because they need it.
Roots to Ranches, right? And you can DVR this. It's Rocky Mountain PBS. You can even get the back episodes too, but you want to binge watch this until until we're open back up. But just give a little plug of what we're going to see here. The season 2 is coming up.
Yeah, so season 2 doesn't get launched until January. We're in the midst of filming those right now here, actually in Colorado. It's going to be some really cool, mind-blowing stuff. But if anybody that's super bored, because I know everybody's wearing the heck out of Netflix right now.
Yeah.
But go to, you can either go to my website, rootstoranches.com.
Yep.
Or you could go to the Rocky Mountain PBS on your smart TV. And then type in Roots to Ranches, or even if you pull up, PBS, you'll see Roots to Ranches icon there. Just click on it, and there's 6 episodes for season 1 all there, and you can just binge watch and enjoy and learn a whole bunch of stuff.
Good stuff. I'm telling you, I am so thrilled. And I know at the moment, I don't know if this is going to change your season 2 programming and what happens here in Colorado. It may just a little bit show that. But here's one thing I want to encourage chefs to do. Give us some good gut health dishes that are going to get us our immune system nice and bolstered out there, and some good soups and that type of thing.
Yeah. And that's all the reason why you should watch Roots to Ranches, because it talks about, it's really apropos, and it's kind of eerie how this fits in but knowing where your food comes from and also how to get it. So, it's about foraging, it's about hunting, it's about, regenerative farming and ranching. And so all these things affect your health. And I feel like it's almost kind of like my mission that I need to teach people to be self-sufficient. And so, because if this world really goes into, a depression or whatever, what happened in the depression? People had to hunt for their food. They had to create their own gardens. And so, it's important. So I think it's just kind of apropos that the show came out right about this time. But yeah, please watch it. It's very entertaining. You'll learn a lot. And yeah, I look forward to
Thank you
talking to you
so
guys again.
much.
Chef, you're amazing.
You guys, thanks so much for having me
Thanks
on.
for your time. You're busy, and we just love you, Chef. Thank you so
guys
much.
Too.
Bye.
Love you guys
See
too.
ya.
Anytime.
There's
Love you,
Chef
Elise.
Elise Wiggins. Oh, I was going to ask the chef to
she's
go on to food service emergency and any updates that you have, or any other chef and want to stay involved. Food service emergency. It's a resource group on Facebook. You guys, boy, we've been broadcasting here for 4 hours. I could go all night. And I don't know how you guys.
But we can start. We can start tomorrow.
We can start
We've got
tomorrow.
all day,
and we will. New stuff will come out. Richie, what a day! Here it is, Monday.
The truths today. What seemed the accurate battle plan today. It's all changing. That's what we're trying to do. We're all on quicksand.
Saturday night. The governor or the mayor who does the recommendations, and they put that out. I think what you're seeing right now is everybody is doing their due diligence of communicating and giving good, accurate information to make decisions. The one thing that Elise Wiggins brought up is really that disconnect right now of like, okay, guys, are we sending mixed messages by saying, let's shut it down, this is very serious, but, we'll allow this to happen, or, we'll allow that to happen. I think the consensus is let's address this immediately and see if we can't get on the other side quicker.
I think on the airport thing, because there's something else that was in here, lower down on the level. But I think at the airport, if they're saying, okay, you can open, I don't think that, air travelers are down, half? Maybe
if
more.
not more.
So does that mean they're all going to open? Of course not. There's not enough business to sustain them all. So you'll probably see little pockets of restaurants, but travelers do need to eat. I can get that.
I mentioned Jesusio Silva. Jesus is actually online here. I don't know, Jay, if we as we're wrapping up one person I'm sure would love to see the face of Jesusio. He just
one more thing.
Yeah.
Did I don't, and maybe I said it, but restaurants in hotels are allowed to open.
You're gluten free. You leave that alone. Richie, what are you doing with these?
They can stay here.
Okay.
Oh, of course, we won't say that because
No.
No.
Say that again, Richie. I'm sorry.
There's a provision for restaurants that are in hotels to remain open.
I know. So, okay, the one that I think of right now is Hyatt
traveling.
Downtown and Former Saint. Former Saint will...
Perfect example. Okay, I was there Saturday. So they've got that new, beautiful lobby with bar and food and all that closed. You go over to Former Saints, that was open. The deck up on top was closed. And so they had guests there that were here anyway.
Am I to understand, and we'll get more clarity on this, but am I to understand if you're walking down next to the convention center and you see Former Saint right there inside the Hyatt, that you can walk in off the street and have a meal in weeks to come?
I don't know if it's open to the public or for hotel guests.
We got to figure that one out.
Well, and that's probably tomorrow's.
You know who we need to speak to? I don't want to mispronounce his name. He owns the Silver Bullet Lounge area in the airport.
DIA, that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah,
Rod.
Yep.
Rod and Hui.
Can we get a wish list? I'd like to talk to Greg Leonard from the Hyatt.
He may be back now. When I was there Saturday, I asked for him. He wasn't in town.
Hey, in town. Do you see this great technology we have in here? We could get someone on the moon,
What?
Rich.
What?
Come on,
What?
man. You
Well,
don't need to be in town.
But I mean, we've got other hoteliers too. Tony Dunn at the Sheraton.
I'd like to talk to somebody in that business. I'd like to get some clarification on that. I'd love to talk to somebody from the Colorado. I said it backwards last time. Lodging and
Colorado
restaurant.
Hotel
and lodging. I did it twice. Love to talk to somebody from there as well. I want to have the chefs in the restaurants continue to come in and talk about this. The days ahead, I want to take the temperature of folks that this is day number 1. I want to check back with some of the folks that we've talked to, see how they look in a week from now, how they're holding up, how we're holding up. We're going to continue to do this just as much as we can even sit here and
I know. I'm going to be
speak.
so just sick of you guys by the time we're at, or maybe not. I don't know, Greg.
I don't know either.
No, we are. We want to deliver content. We want to speak to the community, and we want to share all the updates that we can. We know you guys are so under the water with knowing what to do moving forward. Again, we want to be a place for you to go. We want to hear your story. We can virtually get you in. You don't have to be here, which is the best part. We can still have the show go on and educate and share tips. And between all of you too, connecting people who haven't been connected before.
I want to start a hashtag. Can we brainstorm on a hashtag? Do you know what hashtag is, Rick?
I have no idea.
You don't smoke it. You can't eat it. A hashtag is basically, it's a filtering category system. To if you're on Twitter and you use one hashtag, you click on the hashtag, and anybody who uses that hashtag, we can read their comments.
Have you seen my LinkedIn post?
Yeah,
yes.
Talking to you. I'm thinking something like Together Denver.
TME Together.
TME Together. I like that a lot. I just want people to be able to remember it. Look at, oh my goodness. Maybe he can help us come up with a hashtag himself.
Hi, Chef. How are you?
There he is, Chef Jesus Silva.
Hey,
good to
up?
see you, Chef. I know. What's up with you?
Pretty good. Everything.
Well, Greg is starving me in case you haven't heard for the last 4 hours. I'm going to be so skinny by the time we're done with the show.
Chef, it's weird times we're living in. We're all a little punch drunk right now. The message came down before the mayor, before the governor even spoke up. Broadway Market said, we're shutting the doors, right? That came down the pipeline on Friday, I want to say.
Right. Saturday. That happened Saturday. Well, we decided we can now be part of this, we can now make this problem bigger. As a market, we know we have a lot of people coming to us and hanging in the same spot. So we decided to just do it and make sure all the people who work with us are safe to start, and then make sure our families are safe because, like, just to give an example, my mom lived with me, and she's a 72 years old woman, and we have to take care of the elders right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're hearing a lot of restaurateurs. Well, Elise Wiggins, did you hear any of Elise's conversation with us? You did?
A whole conversation.
It strikes me as like, the last thing that anybody would want to say, especially with pride, is I just laid somebody off. Right now, that's like the noble thing to do. That's almost like by saying I laid somebody off that's a big up in their books by doing that.
It's really hard because you have to understand that you have a lot of people that don't qualify to ask for help from the government, and nobody's talking about that right now. It's a lot of people.
A lot to unpack. Yeah. Well, what's the word on the street right now amongst other chefs and other small business owners within food and beverage?
Well, we need to be strong right now. We need to start thinking in the future and how we're gonna come back and how we're gonna take care of all those customers who want to be on our places right now. I mean, on our restaurants. Like I say, the hardest part right now is, or what we have to think right now is take care of the people who's been helping us for all this time. Yesterday, because we're gonna be closed we think we're gonna be closed only for like a month. Well, actually, the plan when we closed was 2 weeks. Say we close 2 weeks, this thing go down, we're gonna be okay. Then we think maybe it's gonna be a month. And today, well, they say it's gonna be 2 months.
2 months. 2 months.
Yep.
And yesterday, because it's a lot of people. I clean all my walk-in coolers and send home everybody with food. I say, look, it's all we can do now. There you go.
That's what I.
But little Rich is here with us. He was just doing the whole mind blown.
I've got an idea.
Oh, Rich has an idea.
We'll talk after.
Can I want to shoot out an idea, and I think you're going to have a little bit of time on your hands.
All right.
And probably 9 months from now, there'll be another little Jesucio running around because you got too much time running around on your hand. But here at Studio Kitchen Colorado, what if we put together a little ghost kitchen since we can still deliver?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I jumped it out of your head, Rich?
No, that's it. That's it.
Awesome. A little ghost kitchen here to where we can serve some food to the community and have it delivered, but somehow put this money together for a relief fund for some of the folks that it may immediately benefit. Is that something you'd be interested
game,
in?
Rich. Whatever you want to do, I'm game.
I love how he gave you the credit, Rich.
I just read his mind. What's harder, coming up with the idea or reading the mind?
No, I think it's a brilliant idea. I mean, we have so much, like I said, perishable items and things, right, Chef, that you want to move and also support your employees, community, our industry with. I think it's a.
I mean,
yeah, okay.
I
want to throw this out.
If we start making food, probably we're going to get at the point where we're going to have to make food to feed our employees. I mean, forget about make money, man. This is in 2 weeks. All these people have to pay rent. All these people have to buy more groceries. We're talking about in maybe 2 weeks we have to be feeding our employees, dude. Like,
we need to think this through a little bit more, and obviously we're brainstorming on the air here, but we're
just flying by the seat of our pants.
We've got a pretty deep Rolodex over here of suppliers, right, of food. Okay, we need the chefs, and I think we can get a couple of chefs too. I mean, that's my intuition. If we somehow kept this very service industry, but made it tangible, not made it sales to the public or anything else like that. But what if we made lunches and dinners, just like you said, that let's feed our brothers and sisters that no longer have jobs to where they can come by, pick it up. We'll hand them a roll of toilet paper, some hand sanitizer, and a meal for the evening. And I don't know, figure out how to do kind of a voucher system for folks and make it so that we mitigate the costs of this. Through donations of food, through, obviously reputable suppliers. And then we have some chefs come in here and build a very simple menu. We're not having a 5-course meal, but I think we can think this through together and actually do something that I don't think anybody else has ever thought of except Rich right now.
We're going
to throw this out on the air. Here's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Is to have a chef du jour. So Jesus, we post a schedule. Here's going to be the chef.
Yeah.
He's going to do one thing, and so that way we have a minimum amount of people in here because we can't have more than 10 people.
No, they're not coming in. They're not coming in.
No. I'm saying we cannot have more than 10 people in
I see
here.
what you're saying.
I mean, if we have 10 cooks in here, we got problems.
Yes, we do.
Right.
So it's just one thing. Okay, chef, they're going to do tacos. It's going to be a drive-by. A drive-up situation, just like what Aspen Baking is doing. And when we come up with a price, so it covers the food, it helps the chef get some money that day, and it goes into a fund that we can try to help chefs with different things. But why couldn't we have Jesus one day? We could have Elise.
No, the chefs would just
we'd be so
line
spoiled.
Up. It'd be great.
Harley,
and that way people could even, just they still get that taste, and then it's even there's a piece of paper. Here's how you can get a hold of me. What's going on with stuff?
Because
you know what else? Chefs love the applause.
You know what? What we should do is, let's say we do burritos. Used to say, but instead of sell it to our own or brothers and sisters who work in the restaurants, we sell for the public. But whoever buy it, instead of buy one,
your idea,
for 2 or 3, they take one home and.
Okay, there's an idea,
and I want the chefs to be able to still see people enjoy their food, because that's what. And Jesus, you're that way, brother. When you see someone eat that food, you're so happy. Chefs love to hear the applause. And if somehow we can still connect them.
We're going to.
Well, that's what they
and
do.
you know
That's
what?
they thrive
As
on.
we are broadcasting in here for the next 8 weeks, we're going to have this kitchen doing what a kitchen should be doing.
Yeah, and
it's cooking some food, and we'll be broadcasting while folks come through in the service industry, and we'll get them out some food. We're going to cook up this plan, but we got to move quick with this. Hey, Zucio, can we see you in here in the next day or two? Can you come into the kitchen?
I come tomorrow if you want.
I would love that. I would love that. Listen, we'll be here.
I think Greg and I will start. Can we say 9?
I have a meeting.
You've kept me all night. Okay.
Sorry?
I say I have a meeting at 2 at the market. Maybe I can come. I don't know what time you
dinner
guys
series.
Come after the meeting. Can you do that? Come after the meeting.
Deal.
Okay, we'll see him there. That's fantastic.
I love this.
This is good stuff.
Be awesome.
Yeah, thank you. You gave us inspiration, and you know what?
Good location.
And here's another thing. Something to look forward to. We need to have a lot of that going on right now. Is something to look forward to. Always in my life,
church.
When in my life, when I'm looking for some kind of clarity for some situation, I need to clean my house. I need to, and when I say clean my house, I mean literally go inside, clean my house, get my stuff, do my laundry, get my mind clear, get things clean around me, get organized. I think we all need to get organized, but one thing that I always need is something to look forward to. And that something to look forward to can carry you through times.
Oh, who do we have? A junior. We have a junior chef in the house.
That's right.
Say hola.
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 How do you not want to help that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were making soup with him.
What inspire me every day, bro. And that's where we should be inspired with all this every day. This is the pureness, the most beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And another thing I want to ask with what we want to do is, as a restaurateur, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. Some of our restaurants, they're not set up for to-go orders and stuff like that. And some of them are going to close. Don't close with all your products and all your things on the walk-in. They're just going to go waste. Donate it to ModernEater right now, and we have a lot of ideas.
Maybe that's what we can do.
Richie always says our cooler's too big. Now we have a reason why our cooler's
it's not going to be big enough.
I mean, I went in there for a snack and there was nothing.
Yeah.
I had to get my own stash of my swag and eat my pop-in popcorn.
Hey, Lucio, where's your wife? Where's your wife?
She's around here somewhere.
She's around there?
Where's Elena?
I'd love to say hello.
Baby.
We need to complete.
I bet I could go down to Shamrock Food Service warehouses and whatever we needed, they would donate.
Baby,
probably.
Okay.
She's in pajamas right now. We all.
That's what I was hoping.
Okay, it's definitely time to end the show if this is where this is going, Greg.
We're punch drunk. We'll see you tomorrow, Jesus. What, around 3 o'clock?
Guys, thank you very much. Big love for everybody. I hope,
Big love. Thank you.
Thank
you,
back
Chef.
Strong. That's what I got to say.
I got it. Yeah.
Strong.
We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
So, you guys, one thing I do want to touch on again before we kind of close out tonight. And
we're closing out. I'm going strong till midnight. You're leaving?
As long as
I haven't even had to get up to go to the restroom yet.
You're not drinking enough.
I need to.
We have a wet aisle cleanup over here.
I need to.
So, I mean, in all seriousness, though, you guys, I mean, as you're hearing today, all of the companies and restaurants that are, well, we weren't going to do a Charmin ad, but we could. No. Honestly, who instead of allowing their employees to work minimal shifts are allowing them to take, basically being laid off, which will, again, increase their state unemployment tax rates next year. Mm-hmm. It's not, I'm not pushing for fourth. I'm educating that this is what we do. So in this time, this is critical with what we do.
Yeah, you're expert.
Because you will have the state level is about 1.7% on a business that hasn't had a lot of churn and hasn't, it's a business that's been established because we know there's churn in the beginning. those rates will double, triple, especially with all of you kind owner operators
You've been
who
saying
are
it
doing
all
it.
night long.
Yeah.
Get on top of it now.
Get on top of it now. We can help you. We'll work with you on your rates. I want to be more proactive on educating you on what we do and why a PEO, which is a co-employment model, is good for you in the industry. We're not like normal models. You can use your own workers' comp code. You can use your own brokers. You still control your employees. Right now, the critical push is that unemployment tax rate come next year. So reach out to us. I'll be here. I'll be here for the rest of my life as of now.
Yeah, that's right. She's not going home at all.
Nope.
But make us work. Seriously, I'll make us work. And we're coming up with ideas. We want your ideas too. Hit me, ping me, Greg at themoderneater.com, Rebecca.berry@fourth.com. Make us work. Flood our email boxes tonight with requests or information. We want to just hit the ground running tomorrow and bring you the best programming. This, you can count on this every single day. Scheduled programming.
Did you just commit me?
No, you don't have to come.
I'm kidding. I'll be here.
Who's your best friend? She's in with me tomorrow.
She is. Gabrielle McFarland, thank
Gabby's
you.
coming in here with me tomorrow.
Gosh, Andy Jeffrey for trying to get us food.
I know.
And
what are you guys going to do when you go home? You know what we used to do as little kids? Things got so bad.
Do you really want to know?
You would take the refrigerator, that rubber inside the refrigerator seals everything.
Yeah.
We'd scrape the food inside of it, make a little pate with it. That's how things get pretty bad. No, not bad.
Wow. Well,
what are you going to eat?
Fortunately, I'm a huge sucker for, there's these gluten-free ramen noodles that I eat with some manchego with a little bit of sriracha on them. No joke. That's my easy fix.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rich, the challenge is I need you guys to come out with a good gluten-free, flour-like tortilla when things get back to normal, because that's what I live off of. Because I like that softness, but I can't eat it. So I eat that with the manchego. And now I've been living off of the Blonde Beard's, chicken and waffles?
Mm-hmm.
The wing sauce. I ate it with my turkey sausage the other day. You name it. So I love to cook, but for our quick fix, hangry mode, that's what I go to.
Yeah. Okay, we're settling on it. We're going to use hashtag, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, TME together.
I like it.
Okay.
Jay, what do you think?
TME together. He's already at home. Are you kidding me? Jay, you've done a wonderful job. Wow. Did you see the amount of guests that we had on tonight?
That was mind-blowing.
Listen, and what's so cool about this, and not that we've trained for this or any, but we have.
I haven't.
Week after week after week for the past 5 years, Jay has put together some of the best programming here on the Modern Eater Show. It just shows how well we do these types of things when it's like no preparation. Turn on the mics. Just make sure everything works well, and then just go. The Rolodex is there. We want to hear from you guys. Continue. Give us these ideas. We built a Facebook group just for this. It's Food Service Emergency. Food service emergency. Please be food service oriented, food, beverage, that type of thing.
Purveyors.
Yeah, we want to be able to continue.
But be industry touching, please. The other thing I want to mention,
yes, ma'am,
is I just got confirmation. A good friend of mine, Joe Rice, who works for 5280 Burger Bar, which their VP of Ops was trying to log in earlier when we were having some technical difficulties. They're working with us through some process, and they're one of my favorite places to go. And we're up at Andy's down here. Joe lives on the corner of me, but he would love to be on and speak about the employee experience and what he's going through. He's one of their top bartenders who is now going through this. So we're going to get to hear the employee side, which I think is going to be very valuable.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. That's what we'll do tomorrow.
That's true.
So it's 8:43. We spent a good amount of time here, but I think we're going to be spending a lot more. And we're only as good as you guys. So keep us good, keep us honest, keep us relevant, keep us with great information, and we won't let you down.
We won't. And please reach out for questions, concerns, comments. Be a part of these groups. Donate if you can. We're going to collaborate a little bit on this food situation and our chefs to go. It's like our VIP chef experience here at the Studio Kitchen, where our chefs are going to get to showcase their talent, and then we can push their beautiful goods out the door, and people can have a nice home cooked meal.
We're in the same boat as the rest of you. Come the end of the month, I don't know how we're paying our rent here. We're just going to have to lock the door and hope that the landlord doesn't come in and kick us out, which I don't think that he's going to. But times are tough for all of us. The point being is that there is going to be green pastures. It's a little ways down the road, but you, as much as we're preparing for what these weeks ahead look like, also prepare for the weeks after this.
And be proactive, like we spoke about. Voice that you need a little support, you need a little help. Use our resources, contact people in advance, because I can just tell you the lines are going to get long, and we want you guys to be able to continue to thrive through this. So utilize all those resources now.
This is a first world country, and here it is, food insecure. I'm hungry, you know.
Oh, what are you going to go home and eat?
I
didn't even
ask
you. I was so hungry I didn't
So
even
the
ask
grocery
you.
store's terrifying me right now. Rich, have you gone to you haven't?
I never go anyway. Regardless.
It's just a letdown. And then I feel weird if I'm like a scavenger picking through things. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable. So just lately, I've just kind of let the smoke clear and just, hide out. Hide out. Okay, I am really excited to see what happens with Jesucio Silva and how that's all going to play out as far as utilizing Studio Kitchen Colorado. Maybe we found our calling, through times
There's
like this.
always silver lining.
Finally, it's about time.
I know. It's about
Maybe
time.
it's because I joined. I don't know.
I think that's probably true. All right. Love you.
Love you all.
Jay, love you, man. Thank you
Thank you
today.
guys so much for your support. And thank you, Andy and Gabs, for sitting through the last 4 hours.
Rich, who's better than you?
Well, a lot of people, but
who's better than you?
I don't know.
Okay, but most of all, we love you guys.
We love you guys. We're here for you.
See you back here tomorrow. Hit us. Greg Hollenbach, or Greg at themoderneater.com and Rebecca.berry at fourth.com. Load us up for tomorrow and give us some good information. We'll see you back here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. For Jay Parker, for Little Rich Schneider, for Rebecca Berry, I'm Greg Hollenbach.